Hello? What's up?
Hey, Carl, what's up?
All right, welcome to Group Chat episode 18, I believe, presented by Run Through a Wall, the best company on planet Earth. Today, our sponsors are Woodward, Bubs, Herschel, Yeti, Nitro, Goodr, Lucy, Snow League, Smith, Ski-Doo, GoPro, and Joey's Footbeds. Thank you guys so much for coming on board and supporting the show. Of course, our Patreon members as well, and everybody that tunes in. But today in studio, we got Joey Fava to my right. What's happening, Joey?
What's good, Chris? Thanks for having me on again.
Happy that you're in here. Unfortunately, we got no Silk D. We also got Seth Huot over in Raymer's Corner. What's happening, Seth?
Not a lot. Thanks for having me. Psyched to be here. Joey, J Stone, Chris, gonna be an epic show.
Should be a good one. J Stone, good to have you.
Yeah, happy to be back.
The product man, ready to field all of your product questions.
Can't wait.
Should be a good time. Let me run down the show for you today. We are going to be answering your Instagram questions, your Patreon questions. We also have a pre-recorded call from Lucas Magoon that I did yesterday that is unbelievably good. So you're not going to want to miss that. Jess Perlmutter's calling in a little bit, as well as Scott Stevens, and maybe Tommy Gesme. He's in the field. So that's a maybe. We got lots of product talk later in the show, obviously with J Stone. We got smelling salt trivia, Nitro turbo takes, all kinds of good stuff. But maybe let's just start it off with yourself here, Joe. We were just at Red Bull Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
Was there 20,000 people?
20 plus, yeah. That's insane.
How was it riding in front of that massive crowd?
It was pretty insane. It was probably the biggest crowd I've ever done anything in front of. So it was pretty awesome to be a part of that.
Cool.
Compared to the one in Minnesota, just barely, but it was probably a lot more people at that one, so it was pretty rad.
Back-to-back podiums.
Yeah, back to back, surprisingly.
Guy's kind of a weapon out there on the street course.
He's a bit of a certified problem. We're going to jump right into Run Through a Wall trivia.
Welcome to Run Through a Wall Trivia.
We got buzzers?
You're fired.
You got a buzzer behind your head there. Yeah, you put it right there. First person to buzz, get the question right, wins. We have no prize for you guys, but we do have a, not a prize, but if you get it wrong, you have a penalty. You got to do a smelling salt. And also, as soon as you buzz, I will stop reading the question. So if you buzz early, you're just left with what you have.
May God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy on your soul. Also, Silk's not here, so honor system about who buzzed first. Okay, let's start it off. First question. Who did the first backside rodeo 1080 into powder? Seth.
Travis Parker.
That is correct.
Oh, wow.
In Lame?
That's correct.
Yeah, I can see it. Spins
Okay.
all crazy on the last 360.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next question. What rider under the age of 10 has a cameo in the latest Videograss movie? I think that was Joey.
Bad boy Noah.
That's correct. Got to put one down for Joey here. Joey's got one. Okay. Next question. The nose slide tail tap front one is named after what rider?
Edlung.
Yes, that's correct. Full name.
Mark Edlung.
That's correct. Wow, it's all tied up. How's everybody
huge.
feeling?
This is huge.
I would have got that one wrong.
I should have been quicker on that one.
Okay. What female rider did a massive switch method in her latest X Games?
Chloe Kim.
That's correct. Oh, no. Stone's running away with it here. What Whistler backcountry location is the Forum Step Down located at?
Brandywine.
That's correct. It's a bit of a barn burner.
That's a seasoned vet right there.
Yep. What rider is quoted saying "Verger" in a Brain Farm production? Nobody, no takers. Verger. It's Brain Farm. It's a Travis Rice video. Come on, there's people punching their steering wheels in their cars, guys. Come on.
I can see it.
Oh God, you know what? Technically, you're all getting it wrong. Y'all got to do a salt.
No.
right.
The answer is Bjorn Linus. Yep. Nice work, guys.
Oh, I needed this though.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of
Need to wake
this is
up.
a good one.
It's your extra coffee.
Okay, what is the trick referred to as a quote-unquote tea bag?
Oh,
It's a front side invert back to fakie.
Where you pull it back.
Yep.
Yep,
Scott Blum, Reed Smith.
that's correct. What rider from Rutland, Vermont popularized the shiver?
Lucas Magoon.
That's correct. See, hold on. I think I forgot to add that's another J Stone.
I mean, you could have just stopped after Rutland.
I was like, I only know one snowboarder from there that I can think of, so it's got to be him.
Bag. Seth got another one, so I think Seth's got 3. Okay. All right. Who did the first ever double Miller flip in the backcountry that was featured in an Absinthe video?
Bodie.
That's correct. Stoon's in the lead. Here we go. What rider from the UK recently won Locks Open slopestyle?
Cam Spalding won, but
4,
he's from Canada, so I actually
3.
don't know.
You got to hit a salt. The correct answer is Mia Brooks. Guys, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed.
one.
Yeah, I thought you said male
took
for
one.
some reason.
I did not specify gender. Okay, what rider frontside 270 the iconic Red Ledge in Quebec?
Keegan Blake.
Yeah, frontside 270. Jay Stone still in the lead.
Wait. Who?
Keegan.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. This is big for you guys. What is Tommy Gesme's ender line in Blender? He's 2 tricks, 2 rails. It's a double line. What does he do? 5, 4,
Gotta buzz
3, 2.
Doesn't he do is it a cab 270 through a kink, then back blunt same way?
Close. He does a
Through a kink?
switch blunt 270 through a kink, and then a switch front board through a kink.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe. You got to
I
do a
gotta
salt.
hit one.
You got to hit a salt.
I just watched that the other day.
What is in the Videograss video? What rider rode to the song "The Bird Is the Word"?
Nick Dirks.
You gotta smack a salt close. He's in that region. It's like who's everybody know the bird's the word. Bird is a word. Correct answer is Jake Olsen Elm.
Oh, wow.
Shoot.
All right, this is a bit of an old head question. This is older. This was done a long time ago. So
It's
Seth,
like,
Get away from that.
who is the first rider to backside 900 pyramid gap?
Josh Dirks.
That's correct. Nice.
DC pullout poster. I did it anyway. I don't know why I did that. That was just weird. No, it was it was in it was also a DC pullout poster in probably one of the magazines, Snowboarder Transworld.
dude, insane.
I can't tell by my
Morphed-
hash marks, but I think
morphed
Jay
sequence.
Stone and Seth are tied up.
I think I'm pretty close.
Joey, you got a lot of work to do. Joey's got a lot of work to do.
I think I've got one.
All right. You might know this one, Joey. What rider popularized the 50-50 backside 360 out, aka the owl head?
Joe Sexton.
That's correct. Joey's on the board. All right, we are all tied up going into our last question. Again, there is nothing on the line. We have absolutely no prize,
But go for blood.
but this is important.
I thought we were giving away this 4D
Yeah.
house surfer.
I like that.
So if I win it, I get a kicker.
You're not out. No prize.
Okay, here we go. Name one trick that Devin Walsh did over the Hurley Road Gap.
Switchback one.
That's correct. Seth wins it.
Wow.
Seth wins it.
Wow.
And a
Congratulations.
cover of Snowboarder
Did he
magazine.
back 5 it too?
What I have written down, I
He's got
actually
front 3.
I called Jody Wozniak. He did in Pulse. He did a back 3 and then switchback 1 and switchback 5. That's
Switchback
Jody's
5.
research, not mine. That was a phone a friend.
in that?
I believe it. That would be my take. Would be that. You
I
he
know
hits-
they were trying to hit it during that.
Yeah. So nice work, guys. How are we feeling?
Great.
I can't believe I just won this brand new 4D.
It's gonna look so.
You got a 4D pow surf, huh?
So sick.
Congrats.
We do got to start getting gift certificates to Arby's. It's like the gift that nobody really wants, but it's kind of a.
Is there even an Arby's in the valley here?
Yeah, there is. There's a skate spot at one of them. That's why I know that.
Yeah, there's one 45th and 9th. There's a Walmart off
Still.
of Van Winkle.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get a little blowout roast beef. Yeah.
All right, we're going to catch up with Jess Perlmutter. She just got the overall at Red Bull Heavy Metal in front of 20,000 people. She's only 15 years old. Had a phenomenal weekend. We got Jess on the line. Jess, what's happening?
Not much. Just at school right now.
Are you in between classes right now?
Yeah.
That's incredible. So where are you going to school right now? Where at?
Killington, Vermont,
Nice.
at the mountain school.
I love to see it. Well, I want to talk to you about this setup at Red Bull Heavy Metal. You know, the people are claiming there was 20,000 people there. Biggest crowd I've ever seen snowboarding. What was it like riding in front of that massive amount of people?
It was actually insane. I didn't notice the amount of people until the first zone, and it was just insane. I was like stunned by how many people there were, and they just hyped me up to put down my trick. And most amount of people I've ever snowboarded with, for sure.
I love that. Now, all the zones, you have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 being the big kink rail, zone 2 being the wall, and then zone 1 being the rail to drop. It was really firm underneath and honestly looked really gnarly to compete in. Which one was the scariest for you?
Definitely third. They're all pretty scary, but I feel like I could manage zone 1 and 2. I managed to put down some tricks. And zone 1 was pretty chill. Zone 2 was kind of crazy with the winch. But zone 3 definitely sketchiest just because the kink row was so long and the kinks were so aggressive.
Yeah.
It was not fun to land on the stairs.
Yeah, it was a bucking bronco of a kink rail. Now, I'm curious because you were starting halfway down on the kink. How scary was that first going for the whole triple kink?
It was really scary, but the ollie-on was just a little high, but I did the halfway down and made it down pretty fine. So I was just like, oh, just got another 2 kinks to go.
It's simple. Yeah, just couple more kinks. Same thing. Joe, we got Joey Fava here. Joey paid the piper on that. Did you see Joey's crash when he was riding?
I didn't see it in person, but I saw the clip after, and it looked so bad. I don't know how he got up from that.
What's up, Jess?
What's up, Joey?
You killed it. It was awesome to see.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, let's talk about the backflip. You know, obviously step down, totally blind, massive crowd. What's going through your head on that first backy, and then what's going through your head when you land and the crowd's going nuts?
When I first went up to the jump, I was so scared because it was so blind, and I thought it would be a big gap, but once I hit it, it was actually so chill. And for the backflip, I was just worried about the speed because the winches were like a little, a bunch of them were breaking, so, and the speed was fluctuating, so I just wanted to make sure I have enough speed. And also I knuckled so hard on a front one like 2 runs before that. So I was pretty confident I could get the backflip, but the jump was just sketchy.
What about when the crowd went nuts when you landed? How was that?
The crowd definitely influenced me to do the backflip because I was like, the crowd loves the flip. So I just gotta put it down.
You're learning young.
Yeah. Gets the people going.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're 15 years old. You won the first zone, I believe, right? Won the second zone. I think won the overall, I believe, right? How did you do? And you won the overall. And how much money did you get? Is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. How much money did you win?
My dad at the hotel gave me the check, and he was like, "Guess how much it is?" And I said like, $3,000, and he was like, kept on going higher, and I kept on guessing, but the final was, I'm pretty sure, 9,500.
Yes.
So
Yes.
insane.
What's a 15-year-old gonna do with $9,500? What are you gonna do?
I honestly don't even know. Every time I ask my parents, they're like, "We spend so much money on you snowboarding. It's just gonna go back into your travel."
Smart. Yeah, that makes sense. You're traveling all over the place. You're not gonna buy one. You should buy one dumb thing though. You know, that's like kind of
Yeah.
bad advice. Actually, I'm sorry.
Don't listen to him. Jess.
Terrible advice.
Don't listen to him, Jess.
College. I have to say college.
I say go to Hood for a whole summer.
There you go.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a winch before that contest?
Yeah, the first time was a few weeks before in Minnesota at the other Red Bull Heavy Medal.
Sick.
Which you also did well at. You got
Yeah.
some podiums there, right?
Yeah.
Damn, and so you're just racking up cash. Racking and stacking,
sure.
in the words of Lucas Magoon. What did you think about Lucas Magoon's performance out there?
He was definitely the most favorite person I watched there. Lucas, I met him a few times before because he's from Rutland, which is right next to the town that I'm going to school right now. And my coach, Ryan, he's like really good homies with him. And I always go to the Goon Jams. So to see him there was kind of crazy.
Cool. Well, Jess, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. Congrats on everything, all the success, and absolutely killing it at Red Bull Heavy Metal. And I know you got to get back to school, but thanks for taking the time chatting with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cool. All right, we'll talk soon, Jess. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Have a good chat.
Okay, see ya. That was great.
Amazing.
So
So
sick.
sick.
15. $9,500. That's like $1 million, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you get older.
She's got to go buy something dumb. That's come on. Like,
Incomprehensible money at that age.
Yep.
In front of that many people too, that's huge. That's so sick.
yeah, I would have been shook.
That was major.
for sure.
Let's talk about Red Bull Heavy Metal too, because we breezed over it. On zone 3, you put up a board slide, caught so bad. I thought you might have been done after that.
Yeah, I was about to be done, and then Scott was like, "Hey, if we put you in the finals, do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, might as well, whatever." But I smacked my knee pretty hard and like hit my head on the rail. Good thing I had my helmet on, which that was my first time wearing a helmet in the contest, and really glad I had that thing on. And yeah, I think the metal was a little soft or something. Like I think they just welded the flats, or they put a whole thing over the existing rails, but it wasn't like the right metal, so you could feel your edge like digging in every time you hopped on. And then that time I just felt like I caught a little bit, and luckily like put my hands on the rail, like was able to stop myself a bit, and then flipped over and smacked my knee on the ground. I was about to quit, but ended up doing it I think the last 2 minutes or something in the contest, or my last drop was able to do the no side
You
pretzel.
just blacked out.
Yeah, exactly.
You blacked out.
Yeah, blacked out.
It was a square bar, right?
Yeah, it was square.
Okay.
Dude, so
do you? And it was pretty wide.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'd say
what?
I don't know,
4-inch tubing.
4 inches,
Square tubing.
Yeah.
Do you? Would you prefer that over round bar?
I would say round. I think round. Yeah.
Whatever slides that you can trust it. This thing was not trustworthy.
Yeah, if it was good metal, I bet you it would have been way easier to
How were
like, do
the
board
edges?
sides in. The edges were like you could see marks on it before each flat of like where people were digging in on it. So
You
it's
could
kind of
see
scary.
anybody that put up a sideways trick was
Would
like
leave marks.
it was grabbing. It
Is
was
the board? I mean, that wide. The board's flexing kind of around the.
I think you have brand new steel. It hasn't been ridden in. I don't know. Like I know that Sam Anderson waxed it halfway through after you. He went through and waxed it. I know the park crew was throwing some snow on it. I don't know if that was helping.
I think the wax definitely helps because I was checking it and there was like ice sticking onto it too.
Yeah.
So I don't think the snow is the best, but I think the wax actually helped it for sure.
Yeah, I mean at the spot, right? You always wax and
Yeah.
those rails always slide.
buffing them out with the
Yeah.
steel wool.
So let's talk about this event because I was there. My family showed up, my brother, my sister, their kids, and they were standing there next to a lot of people that had never seen snowboarding before, inner city families. And I just think this event for snowboarding is so major. When you have a crowd that big, you have 20,000 people. Okay. That's what, conservatively 15, 10, still ridiculous amount of people. It was a sea of humans. And, they see snowboarding up in the mountains. It's not something that you can go do. But when you have snow in the city, like there was in Boston, and you see people sliding down a rail, and you see, Zeb Powell flipping off everything. And I just think it's such a good thing because every single person that walks by sees it and thinks, damn, snowboarding's cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Definitely.
major for the sport.
Yeah, I think it's
Big win.
Yeah, big win. And it's awesome because they used to do them back in the day. Did you ever do one?
Red Bull Heavy Metal?
Yeah, did you ever do it?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. He's got a trophy, bro.
Yeah, do you?
Niagara.
You did,
First
right?
one.
The first one.
Yeah.
What year was
2002.
that? Wow.
Yeah,
How old were
first
you
one.
then, Joey?
Friggin' 3.
No, what's really awesome, and I've been kind of taking note of just like contests or whatever it is and why things are popular, and then you have professional sports and these massive stadiums is like snowboarding's, when you're up on the mountain like X Games or whatever, it's like it's hard for it to be a spectator sport. But that event, obviously, you're downtown Boston. It's a place that gets snow, so there's the people are in tune with it.
Yeah,
you throw it there, and a rail jam is absolutely entertaining. It's constant. People are just dropping. You're not waiting for run 1, run 2. It's like, no, it's just constant. It's a conveyor belt of carnage or stomp tricks. And then you can get close to it. You can almost build a stadium around that. They captured that back in Innsbruck when they would do the Aaron Styles back in the day in the Olympic Stadium. And, there's a crowd and there's, in all the videos you would see it, people just raging and just seeing the clips from Instagram. And I was like, holy crap, like skyscrapers, tons of a sea of people watching snowboarding. That's a huge win. That's amazing. Congrats to Joe and Oren and that whole crew that, Chris, Todd, all you guys, you guys killed it.
And huge
That's amazing.
undertaking. They had to truck in, I think it was 18 dump trucks of snow from Loon Mountain. Those guys had to move all the snow, all the scaffolding, massive undertaking. And then for you guys, it's a cumulative effort. You guys showed up and put on a show for everybody too.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, shout out Oren and Sexton for sure.
Yeah. Luckily, no too bad injuries. I know Callan, a.k.a. Bean, she got smoked on the wall. She got caught up in the winch. But other than that,
I think everyone else is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
so-
awesome.
so
How
you got-
scary it was.
you got second in zone 2, right? Or
Second in zone 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got second in zone 1 at the other one.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Won $1,000, and then Pat got, I think, runner up in zone 1 too. So yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty awesome. Feels
Yeah,
good.
That was killer. Great event.
Yeah.
Now, do you find yourself slowing down a little bit in your older age? Maybe getting off hill a little earlier? Well, you could be dehydrated. 75% of Americans are dehydrated. And that goes up when you're at elevation, when you're in the mountains. So I drink Bubs Hydrate or Die hydration packets. There's 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes. There's no added sugar. There's no artificial flavors. Let me tell you, when I'm hydrated, I ride better. I can ride longer. I have more energy. All in all, my vitality is just better. So if you're interested in picking up some Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die, head on over to bubsnaturals.com and use promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order. And stay hydrated, people, with Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die.
All right, we're going to take a quick break with a message from our good friends over at Woodward Tahoe. That's Boreal Mountain for you. And if you don't know, snowboarding was pioneered on Donner Summit just around the corner. And if you want to keep the tradition alive, we recommend you get some laps in over at Woodward Tahoe. They got the best park in all of Tahoe. There's no denying it. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Well-groomed, creative parks. You can't get enough of it. And get this, they got night riding, the only night riding in Tahoe. Their chairs are spinning with full lights, great visibility until 8 p.m., 7 days a week. If you want to get your reps up, just like the pioneers did, head on over to Woodward Tahoe.
We're going to rip through a couple Instagram questions. This one is from Snacks McNally. Great question. Thanks to our Patreon members for always submitting questions. We appreciate you guys. What person in snowboarding has influenced you the most in terms of approaching the business side of things? Not so much about the riding, but how you have approached sponsors, marketing, brand building, etc. Any takers?
I would say this person to the left right here. I'll tell you, Chris. To see what you've done is just awesome. You created such an amazing life for yourself and now your family, and what you're doing here and do for all of us is something special, really special, you know? And yeah, that'd be cool to do something like that one day, or, you know, create an amazing life for yourself and doing what we love, you know? I think that's really important. So it's really, really inspiring and just awesome to see what you do, dude.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah.
It means a lot. I appreciate
Yeah.
that, brother.
Hell yeah. And your writing, of course.
Thank you. Yeah.
Some of the best.
Used to be a little better, but we're doing okay.
Nah, you still are. You're still
Thanks,
good.
dog. I can just go. I'll just get in there. Java Fernandez, really, as a kid, really took me under his wing, and somebody I look up to, and yeah, helped my whole career.
Let's see. I would say two people that come to mind.
Maybe just sorry for people that haven't listened. Also, introduce yourself and give the whole title. Give the whole title.
Well, the title's changed. It's not as good anymore, but it's good. But I'm the snowboard engineering manager for Riding K2. So
There's no global on there anymore.
I don't know. I haven't seen the official piece of paper, so
Okay,
hopefully the
got
global's
it.
still on there.
All right, cool.
But yeah, we're working on
Yep.
it.
So answer the question.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah,
Derailed.
two people that come to mind. Kevin Stevenson. When I used to work at Solomon, he super nice and just I think really was super welcoming, and like we got to work on our project together way back then, and that was really like facilitated through him and letting me come on some trips and stuff. And then Tommy J over at K2, who got me my job at K2, and so I think those two people have like really helped me along the way for sure.
Cool.
I would have to say I've had a lot of great mentors on the snowboarding side, and then also the industry side, and through my transition and everything. But I would have to say, like, early on, my biggest influence of just kind of a baseline of kind of how to navigate everything. I'd have to say Mike McIntyre. Yeah, he influenced me. Just the way he handled himself in different business positions, and then also just like his work ethic and his drive and his just greater good for snowboarding, and also the people. It's like he's always so good to the people. So yeah, Mac Dog.
Great answer. Dogger was just he was filming for Red Bull Heavy Metal. He was at the event.
So sick.
It was great seeing him. Okay, next Patreon question is from Braden Miller. I love riding my tree splitter, in parentheses, K2 throwback POW surfer for those who don't know. Everyone on the pod is always talking about accessibility. POW surfing can create your local municipal golf course to a couple linked powder turns without the burden of an expensive lift ticket or Avi risk. Can we please see some more creative shapes / options, bigger while keeping them cheap? I think the beauty of these is the lack of tech. Give us a plank of wood and some medium slippery base and let us eat. Jay Stone, since you're in the POW surfing field, maybe you could field this one.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really the beauty of POW surfing is it brings snowboarding back to our roots. It's like you have your little hill by your house, your park, whatever. You can just go throw that thing down and rip to the bottom. And I mean, that's the coolest part about it. And I think within that, there's really basic boards, and I think there's great options out there. And then there's boards now that are getting more and more tech that you can start kind of riding hard pack on. And, you see like Ian Bold jumping off of buildings, bomb drop style. So there's a lot you can do with them. But yeah, I just hope POW surfing continues to evolve and more people get into it, and yeah, take it for what it's worth and right back to the roots.
I love it. This one's from Simo Slides on Patreon. If you could ride one board the rest of your life, what are you riding and why? Baby Huey?
Nitro alternator. It's just perfect in every way. Shape, flex, size range. Can ride ATV. So
You jib?
yeah, you can jib it. I mean,
You can jib anything.
yeah, you can jib anything.
I mean, look what Zeb does on like a 230 centimeter snowboard.
You can milk anything with nipples.
This is true.
Joey?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I
I would say the one I'm on right now. I really love that board, the Resort Twin. Yeah, by spring break.
Yeah, you've been rocking that thing for a few years
Yeah,
now,
a couple
right?
of years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about all the tech involved. You know,
Yeah,
all
it's
the
like super just perfect. It's just I don't know. There's like wood inside of it, and they like put metal on it, and like put some sidewalls and shape it.
Slides down the hill.
Put bindings on it. You just go down.
It's basically a Ferrari inside.
Yeah, I don't know.
Joey will be fielding all the tech talk
Yeah, it's super
conversation.
sick. Like I don't know, wood and bamboo and whatever.
It's got like
Form it,
a
melt it.
Carbon stringers. That's a
Yeah, I
that's
don't know.
that's
That's
a
like a
good,
shitload of different
press it.
shit, and
Yeah, a bunch of shit in it, and then I don't know the things where you put your screws in. They
Some
put those
glue.
in there.
All right, now it's time for Jay Stone to pump his tires about some fucking board he designed.
I'll go. Yeah, I walked right into that one. All right, I'll go non-K2 board. Non-K2 board would be, God damn it, would be Gentim Stick Manta Ray. And but if I had to pick K2 board, it'd be the Sky Pilot, which I've been riding all year.
Who designed that?
Some janitor over at K2.
All right, sell us on the thing you designed now that we've roasted you. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the board that Sage and I worked on all last year. Just to basically resort, POW, cruising, like good for everybody. Super, super fun. So sounds like that's what he's going to be riding in Natty Select, which is dope. But yeah, it's a little bit wider. So I have a size 10 foot. It's insane for carving, riding POW. I can do a little bit of everything. And it's dope name too.
What's the name again?
Sky Pilot
It's in stores in the fall.
in the fall. Yeah.
Did you name it?
No,
Sage.
Sage. There's a song called Sky Pilot, and
Eric Burden and the Animals.
Who sings
Is
it?
that Eric Burden? The
I
Animals.
could look it up. Yeah, it is. So I got a pretty good little side story on this. So he sent it to me the summer before we started working on it. He's like, we should call it the Sky Pilot. So we worked on it the whole winter. And at the Brown premiere, we saw Jared's video part come out, and it was to that song, Sky Pilot. And we're like, holy shit, like that's random that he used that song. And then we make the whole board. This past summer, I'm hanging with Jared in California, and we're on like a hour and a half drive just talking about whatever boards we've been working on and stuff. And he's like, oh, what's the board called you guys have been working on? I'm like, oh, it's the Sky Pilot. And he looks at me and goes, that was what my board was supposed to be called. Because he got a pro model with Arbor, and he's like, oh, fuck. And I was like, yeah, we like trademarked the name and everything. So he had to, he was like, God fucking damn it, that's the best name ever. Calls Arbor, and he's like, we got to, like, full audible. We got to change the name on the spot. It was just like pretty crazy that like both of us thought of that name same exact time. But yeah, his board's sick, El Camino. That I wrote it, super fun. But yeah, so Sky Pilot. It's
Could have been
legendary.
sick if it would have came out then too.
I know.
Same name.
Yeah,
That
could have
would've
been. It
Imagine the retail nightmare, all the reps, everybody freaking out.
would have been an absolute dumpster fire.
I heard Sage is having a good winter. Talked to him on the phone. It sounds like he's bagging double corks out the wazoo.
Yeah, dude, they've been going in Jackson. Yeah, went out there for 2 trips with them, and those dudes are just on a mission.
Yeah, you see anything go down?
No, the days I was out, we were just like scouting because it was like super high heavy. So we were just like,
AKA burying turbo.
yeah, bearing turbo, just 6 foot deep trenches out there.
AKA augering the Polaris.
Dude, we were out there, had a huge squad, but Rene's got to be the funniest person I've ever seen on a snowmobile. He goes like no straps attached on his backpack, so they're just like flying off like streamers, and you would just look over and he's just shooting through meadows left and right. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. But yeah, those dudes are on an absolute like war tear out there, just like double cork only on 100-foot jumps.
Who's the crew? Rene, all the Monster Bros?
Yeah, it's like Sebe, Rene, Germ, Sage, Judd has been going in, and Dusty. So they have an insane
A
squad.
grades only.
Yeah.
Sick.
U.S. Air Force is out there.
Yeah,
in full effect.
they're bagging airtime. Okay, keep you guys posted. We still got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. We're going to call Scotty Stevens later. Jay Stone's going to answer all your product questions, a lot more Instagram questions, maybe a call with Tommy Gesme, but we're going to get to this interview with Lucas Magoon, and it's a good one. So here we go. All right, folks, it's a pleasure. We happen to have Lucas Magoon on the line. Lucas, what's happening?
What's good, Chris? Doing great. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, a couple days after Red Bull Heavy Metal. Thanks for the shout, Chris. All right.
Always a pleasure. So fun hanging in Boston. Before we get into Red Bull Heavy Metal, we got to know. The people want to know. The people want to hear the story. You lost the end of your finger in a incident. We want to hear what happened. We want to know the facts. Tell us about it, Lucas.
All right, Chris. Yeah, the digi is off on my left middle finger here. It all started back in Michigan about a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I've been getting kind of used to it. I'm dropping a couple joints and cigs and coffee cups, though, so I try to use my right hand now. Other than that, yeah, it was a winch incident. It bogged out, and I was like, chain's off. I'm down there working, putting the chain back on, and Jake Fern brings back the rest of the slack. And it was already kind of hard taking the rope out the spindle, so he was ready to pull back a little extra, so he just as hard as he could, pulled the rest of the rope back where he needed it, and then I had my finger, and it went right underneath the chain into the main sprocket, and it kind of just went in, and I just ripped it out. I was like, "Yup, fingers off." Kind of just clenched up the fist, and kind of was like, yeah, kind of walking around for a little bit. I was like, yeah, maybe we should get in the van. And then I was like, has anybody got anything to wrap this with? And then I'm like, yeah, can someone go grab my finger out down there? And so Caden went down there, and there was another homie there that was running a different winch, and he couldn't figure it out. So that's why we were on our winch. And Caden asked him, like, is the finger really off? And the dude's just pointing down there, stepping back, like, yeah. And then, so Caden just put it in a snowball. We got in the van, drove to the first hospital, and I had all the nurses laughing, and we're having a good time with it.
What were they laughing about? What were they laughing about?
Well, I was just kind of joking around here and there, and then, yeah, they were smiling, joking, cracking jokes, and I forget what quote she said on the way out, but I was like, there we go, there's the start of it. But she had a really good pun to it, so I forgot it. But anyways, I was sitting there, after they cleaned it, and I was like, all right, you know what? I actually don't mind if they don't put it back on. I'm kind of digging it. And then he comes back in yeah, they ain't going to be able to put this back on. I was like, funny. I was just saying to myself how I don't mind if they don't. And then I was like, all right, I got to call Fern. Because we just kind of left, and Fern was there. And I called Fern, and I'm like, how you feeling, Jake? He's like, dude. He's like, I'm about to be in tears. I'm like, don't even worry about it, Jake. I actually am kind of digging it. It's actually kind of funny. And I was like, don't feel bad, dude. Actually, thank you. It's actually kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, just drop that one grate, and I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to try to hit it one more before we go. So, yeah, the nurses come back and then said, yeah, you got to go to a different hospital too. And I was like, oh, all right. And then we went back to the spot, and they actually cleaned everything up. So I was like, damn, all right. Well, we just sat around smoking and joking for a little bit, and then got all the equipment back into the van and went to the next hospital. And it was 4:45 in the morning. And yeah, just kind of got there. I was able to sneak in a pen or two that they didn't find at the security booth. But yeah, I got it in, and kind of waited around a bit, and then they got me in one of the rooms, and they just threw a shot right into the bottom of the finger, and it all numbed out. And they just started chipping away at the rest of the bone that was on it. And he's like, after I fix you up, I'm about to take this guy's hand that's got gangrene around the corner. And I was like, all right. And I was like, by any chance, am I going to get like some open particles like over into mine? And he's like, nah, don't worry about that, but you're probably going to get a whiff of it. And then right when he said it, just boom, like a wave. And it was the nastiest thing I've ever smelled. And, but yeah, just kind of, he's like chipping away. He's like, oh, did I get any on my shirt? I was like, I don't know, man. And then and then we're just joking. And, he cut the rest of the bone off, peeled back the skin, and just threw some stitches on it.
I don't need to hear all those details. I don't want our listeners like throwing up when they're driving in their car or whatever. But you know what? I'm curious. Where is the fingertip now? Where is that currently?
Well, that digi, let me channel in here. It looks like we're in Brooklyn, in the city above the visor of Moses' van. That's where I see you right now.
It's in the visor.
But
you have a body part in the visor of the van?
Yeah, I actually forgot it when Mose dropped us off last night. We've kind of been forgetting it a couple times at the Airbnb freezers. Good thing Tanya was a little bit closer. One time she had to turn back and get the limb out of the freezer. But yeah, it's been towing around, and then we made it to Minnesota, and I went ice fishing with it, but nothing bit. And, so it carried on. It's been sitting in that biohazard bag. A couple of times I would leave it outside the van, kind of tucked underneath some snow and here and there. But yeah, that thing's been tagging along, and it's kind of just been above the visor for a minute, and it's kind of like froze to the visor. It's fallen down on a couple people that put down the visor, but now it's kind of frozen to the visor. So at least it's kind of cold. And I was actually going to throw it out into the crowd at the Red Bull Heavy Metal event. But then you guys claimed it. So I guess you guys are getting the digi for the bomb hole set.
Yeah, we did request Goodr's finger to have on set here. That is something that we are going to make happen. Not sure if it's legal.
I don't know if it's a federal offense.
Body parts.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can get it?
Figure that one.
We just need to get it in a mold, and then if we could do what I really want is like a gold Goodr's fingertip, like gold. You know what I'm saying? How do we do that?
Probably have to be dipped in something or spray painted because
just spray paint it?
Definitely think it's turning a little bit. I think it's moving. It might have
a little spray paint.
Might have turned into a zombie moving body part. So I think it kind of.
What color is it right now? Out of curiosity, what color?
It's getting a little ripe. I think last time I checked, it was getting a little ripe. So I think it would be best to maybe throw a thick layer of gold spray paint over it.
Yeah, that'll seal it up.
Yeah, seal it up and it'll look brand new, dude. There we go. I think we should get Stan's tooth involved too.
Yes.
And we should combine Stan's tooth with this digi and maybe make like a cool keychain or something.
Yeah, you could rock it like a chain. I see Zeb rocking the Jordan chain. You could be rocking the finger chain.
Right, the old digi chain.
Chain. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm for it. It could be about it. Either or, it's yours.
I appreciate that. Let's get it.
Dude.
We'll get it.
It's for the bomb hole.
We'll spray paint it. We'll throw it in a glass case. We'll spray paint it. It should be good to go. But
I think so. Yeah, if it's sealed up with some, I don't think it'll turn much more.
Yeah, I think you just got to seal it up. It's simple. Just got to seal it up.
But it's cool. I have my nails freshly cut on there, so it's looking primed up. So yeah.
One thing we got to talk about though, I mean, your attitude about losing your finger is just phenomenal. It's it just adds to the folklore of Goodr's tale. I love to see you lose your finger, you're joking about it, you're having a good time about it. It doesn't seem to be really slowing you down in any way, Goodr.
No, yeah, I've still got the legs, so everything's still moving good. Yeah, so it was fine. It's actually kind of funny because it's the same spot I broke my hand at the year prior. So before we left the spot, I'm like, hey, Zone, we love you. I think for the third roll next season, when we come back, maybe a little bit smoother, maybe could get clipped up and not lose or break anything the third roll.
Yeah, third time's a
we'll
charm. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, we're going to be back there next season, and then going to continue what we were doing.
Well,
So,
I appreciate.
that's about it. I don't know. It's fine. I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. It's a little extra. It's kind of rustic.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well,
it's fine.
Let's go with what's recent in our memory. I think we should change gears and talk about Red Bull Heavy Metal. You didn't get a podium. I thought you should have. The judges actually asked me who I thought won, and I said your name. So you had the people going. You rode out into the street. You were riding down the wooden railing that was not intended for snowboard use. Tail tap back one of my favorite clips of the experience there. How was your experience at Red Bull Heavy Metal?
Well, it was kind of like an old dream come true because back in the day, in a couple of those grenade intros in those videos, they kind of had some shots of the old Red Bull Heavy Metal, and I remember telling myself, I want to do one of those one day. So a couple decades later, it happened, and it was amazing. I just being there, being a part of it was everything to me. So,
what about the crowd?
The crowd, that was the most I think ever been around for a shred event. I think we overcapped a lot of things. I'm hearing.
Yeah,
here we breaking records on the amount of people we had there.
15,000 people was the number I heard. I
heard 20,000 or more.
Woo!
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty dope. It was, and I was super hyped that you're up there just getting to preach to Boston, bud, because we know how much you love it. So that's what made my day, too, is you up there getting to preach to Boston.
It was good town. The crowd was all time. We had some Let's Go Bruins chants going. At one point, Butt Puke, Jake, I believe Godet is his name, Jake, absolute ripper. We were referring to him as Butt Puke on the microphone, and we had 10,000 people chanting Butt Puke in the downtown Boston. It was incredible,
Right? Yeah, there was, I think we all made it out alive, so... some Kurt Russell escape from Boston. I think we handled it, and I think the whole crew, from Loon Park crew to all the photographers and filmers to all the shredders, I think we all combined powers, and it was magical, dude.
It was magical.
Great. I think, dude, it was a great experience to be alive with everyone, and we got through it, dude. And I'm assuming they're going to bring it back again next year. Might as well.
Yeah, that was mental. Well, let's talk about another topic here. This is just a huge undertaking, and I think we need to shed some light on it. You guys pack up the van. I don't even know how many stops you do, but the Goon Jam Tour. How's it been going this winter? Huge undertaking. How many stops? Where you been going? Fill us in.
Yeah, we had about 10 stops this year. We still got one more up in Saddleback in Maine in April. That'll be the last one of the year. But yeah, we started kind of end of December. We start the first one up at where we do Goonfest the last weekend of June every summer. We started up at Snow Ridge in Turin, and yeah, we hit the road and Michigan to Minnesota to Wisconsin to Denver to Tahoe and then Nevada. And we were going to do West Virginia, but it was kind of last minute. But though I think next year we'll catch that. But yeah, it's pretty much start on the east, go out to the west, and make our way back. And it's been going smooth. And then in between where we stay, other than doing the jams, we get to film in the streets to rack clips for the video that we'll drop every fall. So
We got a new
yeah,
name.
it was
We
pretty
got a new
smooth.
name.
It's in the works though, but I think we're gonna have to have something like chopped diggities or chopped limbs and something else. So I don't know. It's brewing right now. It's in the mix. Don't really got quite a hit on the topic title yet, but though we've got a couple new hitters to the squad. We got Caden and we got Scotty in the mix, and yeah, it's been going good. It just keeps growing every year, and it's great to just hear good feedback every time. So it seems like a mission accomplished. So
Nice
we
work.
just want everyone, yeah, to have a good time and feed the fire and feed off each other and let the good times keep rolling.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good to see what you're
It's
doing
been
for
going good.
snowboarding, and you're just piggybacking. You're just putting this whole event on your back, and you guys just go grind it out. You and Tanya and Winter. It's incredible. But I want to go back to a topic I'm very curious about. You know, your mom, Jeannie. Okay, she is a sweetheart. Took me in whenever we'd come up and ride Killington and stay with you when we were kids and stuff. I just got to know, what did Jeannie say when you called her and told her you lost your finger?
oh, that's funny to say because she was like, yeah, by the way, like right before this happened, we were just bringing up great Uncle Phil, how he stuck his hand in the snowblower and lost a finger or two. And I was thinking I was going to give you a call and let you know to be careful on finger limbs. So thanks, Ma. I think you kind of put that out in the universe. And yeah. So I don't know what you manifested there, but
So this is Jeannie's fault. This is Jeannie's fault.
I don't want to say it, but I think she kind of might have put the vibe out there a little bit. So I don't know. The energy might have kicked over, and then yeah, she's like, "Funny that happened because I was just gonna let you know. Watch out." So
Insane.
thanks, Ma. So yeah, but it's all. It comes down to my fault by miscommunication. You know, I could have, I could have told him, "Hey, don't pull it back. My hands are in it." But hey, it worked out. So, maybe a little bit more communication next time when you're dealing with your fingers in the chain and the spindle. And I think in that wench sometimes is like off angle. So I think the chain this whole time has been sharpening the one sprocket. So like, I'm actually glad I'm glad I ripped the rest of it off. So yeah, it seems like it would have been a little difficult. Maybe I would have just finished the rest if it was. But yeah, I did. So yeah, old news now.
Incredible, Goodr. Well, we're doing a full-blown show, so this is just a segment for it. So we're going to get back to our show. But Lucas, it's always a pleasure when you call in, my friend.
Chris, thank you very much, fam. It's all love and to the bomb whole nation, bud. Oh yeah, always a pleasure.
Talk to you soon.
And
Maybe
we'll talk again.
Maybe I'll see you at Goonfest this summer.
There you go, Goonfest, or maybe make it out to Homesick.
Oh yeah, I'm. My schedule's full. I can't make that one, unfortunately. But
I know, right?
Go kill it. You got a podium. You get a podium last year, right?
I got podium the first year they did it. I got second. Yeah, we got 18 to like 39, so we're in with the young hitters. So almost. But yeah, well, it's always a good time. So keep that rolling, and yeah, we'll talk another time, Chris.
Okay, have fun, brother. Great catching up. We'll talk to you, Goodr.
Thanks, man. All love. Peace.
Later. All right, folks, I had the chance to ride the 2026 Ski-Doo sleds, and these things are unbelievable. They just unleashed their most dominant deep snow lineup yet. We're talking weight reduction across the board, up to 14 pounds less wet weight on the Summit X. Industry first 32-inch ski stance on the Summit X with Expert package. Great for side hilling. I rode this thing. It's nimble. It's incredible. It fits through all the tight tree lines. You can take it on even steeper side hills, and you can explore gnarly new terrain. The free ride is back, taking riders to the extreme. All powered by the proven, reliable Rotax 2-stroke engine. They got the factory-built 850 E-Tech Turbo R. It's 180 horsepower. This baby's a whistle wagon. And they also have the naturally aspirated 850 E-Tech. And Beresford's riding this, the 600R E-Tech. It's unbelievable incentives that we haven't seen from a brand in a long time. You get 4 years of coverage if you pre-order the new 2026 Skidoo. It's guaranteed to be the best promo of the year. Spring promo is good through March 31st, 2025. So hit up your local Skidoo dealer and get one today. You will not be disappointed. Let's talk about Joey's Footbeds by Joey Stanko. He's a snowboarder and a master boot fitter, and he cares about snowboarding, its culture, its community. He came out for Bombhole Cup last year, and he is an incredibly passionate person, and he has a company that you should support. Let me tell you why. He's backed with over 15 years experience in the field of boot fitting with a daily job of preventing pain in snowboarders and skiers' feet. Also, sidebar, a lot of my friends who are pro snowboarders run these footbeds, including myself, and absolutely love them. So these footbeds feature Netsu 3D technology, providing your feet with arch support, dampening, and comfort, meaning less unwanted pressure in your ankles and knees while locking in your heel. Midfoot comfort technology allows you the maximum room for your toes and the width of your foot. These footbeds mold naturally to your feet when you ride them. They're also fully and adjustable and tweakable by your local boot fitter. So jump on joeysfootbeds.com and order yourself a pair today. Joey's Footbeds is a proud supporter of Bombhole Cup and a Patreon member. Support the little guy, Joey's Footbeds. And to be honest, he has one simple goal with this product, is to get people in the right gear so they have the best possible experience snowboarding. That's true. Joey cares, man. So check out joeysfootbeds.com. Get some custom footbeds. It'll make your snowboard experience that much better. You spend a lot of time in these boots. Get the right footbeds. Great interview with Lucas. That man is a gem of a human being, traveling around with a human body part in his visor of his van. Let's get into it, though. A lot of people want to know, Seth is no longer with Volcom. And we're going to fire up a Patreon question about that. Ben Barbie wants to know, if Seth is willing to share, it would be interesting to hear his perspective on Volcom. And maybe before you could get into that, you could kind of explain your role there for many years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically through the timeline, it was crazy. I put together this timeline and, just visually just kind of seeing from the get-go, getting on Volcom and then, to current day. All right. And yeah, when this show airs, it's I will be no longer with Volcom or working at Volcom. So back in 2001, my first box, I was on Capita. Blue got me on Capita, and he's like, "Who do you want to ride for?" And I was like, "Volcom," like instantly, dream brand. So they were about 10 years in because they started in 1991. So got my first box, or he sent my sponsor me tape. Straight up VHS, sent it in. Jay Twitty was the team manager at the time, and he watched it, and yeah, he put me on. He gave me my first box, and within that first box, it was handwritten, because this is 2000, whatever. And he's just the one quote that really stood out was just the ball's in your court. And that stuck with me probably to this day, you know what I mean? Just seeing that in writing, and, it was just a dream come true. And it was just one of those things where I was just okay, this is the amazing brand, and don't screw this up. So I started riding in 2001. I was a rider all the way through, filming through my whole career, video parts, and they got me into videos, had so many opportunities. Then I transitioned right around 2012. As my career was sort of, I was at the peak of it, or at the height. And I was shooting a lot of photos in the summers, when I was filming video parts. I was, had the VX because, we filmed everything when we were snowboarding. So, and my super good friend Brock Harris had a skate park, and he actually started, a deck company. And with his skaters, I would just like, okay, let's make a video. You know what I mean? Because I was like bored in the summer, you know? So I was filming a lot, shooting a lot of photos. And, you know, my team manager at the time, Ryan Boys and Billy Anderson, they kind of took note of that. And they were just like, hey, like, you know, as you're getting older, you know, would you be interested in kind of transitioning into more of this like team captain sort of role? And I'm kind of running you guys through the history. Hopefully this isn't too boring.
This is great.
Keep going.
And then, you know, and I was like, yeah, that okay. Like I was kind of weird. I was like, what? I'm not done, you know? But it was one of those things where like, no, it's kind of like a quote unquote Jamie Thomas position where he's, you know, you're out on the, kind of managing the road and doing the trips, you know, filming second angle, and then also just kind of like bringing up the younger kids. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, so right around 2012, that's when that started, or 2011 or so, that's when that started happening. And then right at that same time, social media started popping off, like Instagram, you know, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, all that stuff. So they kind of saw like no one ever told me really like there to be like, oh yeah, film this and then edit this or make this or do this. I just did it naturally because if I'm filming clips, I know how to edit. I'm gonna start putting those things together. Oh, here, check it out. Here's an edit. Or you know, at that time there wasn't really like a super big YouTube thing either, but we were making like content and it was just kind of snowballed into this thing to where it's like, all right, I was still under like an athlete contract, but as all this social media stuff was exploding, I just like, they just plugged me into that. So low level, like at the ground level, is just like instantly started like, you know, kind of like a boots on the ground or boots in the snow marketing kind of role, you know, with social media. And that was before it was even like refined. Like now it's like a machine. Like that thing is just crazy. But at that time it was just brand new. It was just like throw anything at it, photo, video. I was doing it all. I was figuring out ways to like get a photo from my camera to the Instagram instantly, you know, and it was sick. And it was just this thing that just kind of snowballed and built. And I was getting like the foundation of like managing the team, creating content, publishing, you know, and creating stories. And as that evolved, you know, that just kept going and going. And then they brought me in-house, and I was, you know, super fortunate to be asked, you know, like, hey, do you want to be an employee, like through different changes in the brand, you know, because I was on a contractor level. And yeah, so then in 2017, I got on as like my title was like global team and marketing manager. And I was working with Jeff Kabigtang and Remy Stratton and Kaylin Cassidy under the whole big, you know, Ryan Immigart's like marketing program. So yeah, and then that just like kept going until basically, you know, like the start of 2024. Then I got promoted to like global snow marketing director. So, you know, that was a big, nice, you know, jump, you know, and then that brings us to current time. So that's kind of like my timeline in a nutshell of like everything. And every single year was nuts. You know, it brought a new adventure, it brought new content, brought new relationships, it brought new partnerships. It was just incredible. I was like, put together this timeline. I'm just like, this wasn't even really everything too. It was like, there's still more in there, but it was just a way to like catalog it all. And I was just like, holy crap, 24 years of just like going for it, right? Because, you know, like, you know, you start as a snowboarder and then you end up and like, you know, you're doing deals and writing contracts and making movies and, you know, having these big brand partnerships. And it's just kind of one of those things that just slowly sort of happens and it's crazy and good. And then on the flip side of that, you know, where the business is at and where Volcom was at, it's like when I started with the brand, it was privately owned, you know, privately owned. And then I watched that in like 2020 or 2005-ish, it goes public. And then after being public for however many years, I can't remember the exact year, but then it was bought again back by a privately owned company called Kering, which is like they own like Gucci, Saint Laurent, like all these big luxury brands, and they wanted to expand into, you know, sports. And then that lasted until about the end of 2018 or so. And now it was bought by a company called Authentic Brands Group. So that's all happening kind of behind the scenes, you know, as everybody's, you know, riding for the company, working for the company. And the Authentic Brands Group is set up to where they're like, they own the IP, and within that like acquisition, you know, what they do is they own the IP, you know, like they own the logo, they own the name, they own all the content, and then they license it out to an operating company. And an operating company basically runs it. They, you know, like sell it, they distribute it, they produce it, manufacture everything. So within that like acquisition, you know, all of us that had came from owning it, all of a sudden there was a new company that was formed called Liberated Brands that operated it. So right there, you know, it was a little like as employees, like we didn't see too much change. There was a little bit of change. It was all kind of slow at the time, all the way through all of this, you know what I mean? And we kind of just kept going, running it, and like we owned it, you know what I mean? Like the passion was there, the people were there. Like a lot of the employees in the marketing department too were all like day one employees, you know, like Remy and Ryan and everyone been there for, you know, 25, 30 years. So, you know, there wasn't much change there. And then, you know, I guess like what's going on, right? Like what happened, you know, at the end of this year is, you know, on an executive level that I'm not really like too in tune with, I know, but, you know, like I wasn't involved in any of it because I was like really specifically Volcom snow, you know, and I know what was happening within Volcom, but there's a lot of other brands that kind of were, you know, we got the license to, Liberated did, and there's a lot more people coming in and, you know, different things shift. But through that, you know, Pat Bridges did a great write-up on Slush Magazine, so you can really go through like the details of like, you know, kind of his perspective or, you know, whatever he wrote. But ABG basically pulled the license from Liberated for different reasons, and now they gave it to a new group to operate it. And through that transition, you know, they took some salespeople, product people, and stuff like that to go with the brand at that new operating group. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, 100%. I'm
perfect.
super interested.
Yeah. And then, you know, and as far as the marketing goes, that and everything, that's where it was like up in the air. You know, a lot of unknowns at that point, and it was kind of like, hey, ABG's trying to decide if they're going to do the marketing, and then, you know, the new operator, like they're like, we may or may not do the marketing, you know, so it's kind of like we're kind of in this like weird gray area limbo. And as it turns out, like, no, they didn't take the marketing department, or at least like some people went to other brands and other things, but as far as Volcom goes, like, no, like that was it. My job's done, and you know, it's kind of now it's like a clean slate and onward. So that's the end of 24 years. And as far as like the team goes, you know, like going through, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of rumors out there and, you know, everything. And that was like probably some of like this 2024, like, you know, seeing it has been like the most trying year, I think. Like it was so like sick. I was like, oh yeah, finally I'm getting this like director role, you know, where like really, like I was calling the shots before, or, you know, a lot of them. But at the same time, I was like, kind of like, yeah, like, all right, you get a new title. You're like, let's go. And then seeing it kind of fall off the backside, and that was really, really, really hard for me. Like, cause like I'm the type of person that I am all in. Anything I do, I'm all in. And snowboarding is like my first love. Like when I started in, ironically, 1991, same year Volcom was founded. That was my first year snowboarding. So, and to see it, you know, to be a part of it, and then Volcom kind of blended into that same kind of love, just because like so much of the brand that I started from a young age and like fell in love with was like the culture, you know, youth against establishment, everything. So I'm so emotionally attached to this, you know, like you guys would see me. I'm up there in the POW days with the tent and the truck and
the
like,
Jenny pop.
Yeah.
Back to the Volcom rig.
Yeah, and you know, and it's so crazy. Like I set up a new board and I didn't put a sticker on it. I was like, this what? Like I've not done this since 01, you know. And you know, I had a moment, and it was crazy. You know, just seeing the team. You know, everything that happened. Some team riders made it through. You know, a lot didn't, and that destroyed me. Like it was so hard to watch that. and be a part of that. And, you know, I had to make those calls, and I hated it. But at the same time, I was like, I would rather it be me than somebody that they don't know, you know what I mean? Or get a notice in the mail. So I made those calls, and it was like some of the toughest calls, some of the toughest meetings. Some I did, you know, face to face, and just to like show, you know, that, you know, where I was at with it. And everyone, you know, absolutely sucked. So but I guess, you know, at the end, that's what's another part of the job. But I try to explain it the best I can and paint the picture as best I can, like where it's at, and maybe it came through to him, hopefully. But we'll see. I'm sure it's so hard to understand, like when you're a rider and you're in that mentality, like you're just like, what? I don't get it, you know. And it's like, okay, but yeah, but I did have a moment of closure, you know what I mean, like throughout the whole process, you know, because I've been kind of, you know, we've been kind of in limbo, like as the brand shuts down for like the last couple months. Dude, I just started bawling one day. Like there was I was watching a hockey game, and before the hockey game, they were like lifting somebody's number into the rafters. And I was just, and they like, he's retiring their number. And I was just like, his family's there. He's giving this like sick speech. It was kind of funny, but like tearing up, you know, and all this. I was just like, holy shit. And I just started bawling, and I just cried it out for about like 30 minutes. And it wasn't really about, you know, in Volcom, like, yeah, that it sucks. It's like losing something, you know, I don't even know.
Part of yourself, maybe.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Part of yourself. Yeah, it's kind of like going through a death, kind of like going through like I guess like a breakup or a divorce, whatever you could imagine. And I got through that after, you know, and then I was just like, okay, I think I'm good. And it's been, you know, and I seriously, after that moment, like, it's been like, all right, like, because there's a lot of like, you're going through the emotions, you're like, it's full grieving process, like full grieving process. And I've been there and only done this for 24 years. And it's scary to think like, I'm gonna go out into the job market. It's like, what? You know, everyone's like asking for like college and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm a snowboarder. What do I know? Like, I don't know. But I don't know. It's like, you know, just reflecting on it a lot. Hanging out with my, you know, my family a lot. This year, I haven't really snowboarded too much. I have. It's not that I lost passion or anything. It's just been a weird year. It's like some days I kind of look at it and I'm just like, and then, you know, and then you got like, it's kind of been a weird snow year and everything else. But then Mason, my son, he's on a travel hockey program and he loves it. And he is just diving into it. And I had this moment where I was like, God damn, like I've been making all these other kids' dreams come true, like for all, you know, and I loved it. But, and then, you know, and if Mason's into hockey, we're all in. We are going to get it. You know, he was working out with Jeremy all summer. Like he had a mission. He's like, I want to make this travel team. I want to make the top varsity team. I'm like, we're doing it. You know, we set up a plan and he made both teams. He's just thriving. And, we've been, I just got back from Dallas a couple, weeks ago, just like seeing that whole process of a different side than just snowboarding. And that's just been super refreshing. But in the same term, I got in the streets the other day with Jeremy, ate shit.
That clip was amazing.
Died. And I was just like, you know what? Like, him and Bob were just like, dude, it's good. Let's get out of here. I'm like, no. No. And it wasn't, I wasn't even bummed or pissed or anything. I was just like, God, I feel alive. I just hit the pavement, you know?
Get this thing.
Yeah. And I got up and I was like, I don't even care if I just 50-50 it. I don't care. I just need to ride away. So that was a really good feeling. And, it's still there. I love snowboarding to death. And
we actually have a question that's a great segue for this. All beautiful things that you said, but while you're on that topic, Stone Cold Steve Lockwood, shout out Lockwood, he wants to know, when is it time to hang up the boots in the streets?
Never. Don't ever listen to that voice. Always get in the streets. Joey, you're going to go tell, dude, your dad's still killing it.
So Pops is still going.
You got
those good
examples.
genes for sure.
Yeah. Yep. There's no good time to hang up the boots. And I don't know, there's just something about you're just kind of out, like the street, like for street snowboarders, like you're no matter what, like skater, whatever, whoever, you see spots. Like no matter what, everyone sees spots. Like there's snow, shit. Yeah. Like it's on and do something. Jib a railroad tie. Like do something.
Yeah, picnic table doesn't matter. Like,
it's just so fun to go out. Like, it was a nice night the other night when we were out. The light was super good. It was calm. It was like a Sunday. And I was just kind of looking around. We were actually, we're at that place where the same school with the challenge rail.
Oh, yeah.
Pat was probably hitting it.
Yeah.
He was
up on Foothill.
Yeah. And it was just like, dude, the paragliders were coming down, landing right next to like the spot. And I was like, this is sick. Like, no one's telling us to be here. You don't have to like get up early to go sit in the parking lot to like get first chair. We're just here, got a coffee, strapping in, no pressure, snowboarding. Like that right there is like pretty rad.
I love this subject. I want to go back to it. But before we move on from the Volcom thing, I just think there's something I wanted to clarify that I think would be an interesting topic, is that as a person in a marketing role, right, let's say you have a certain budget, and I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say it's $100,000, right? And I'm guessing what happened is they're like, okay, here's your new budget. It is 1/3 of that, right? And then you had to make all those tough calls?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the budget cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with that since the heyday. I think, like I came into it, which is a bummer because when I was like riding for Volcom, like 2006, filming a scramble, there was no fucking budget. Like it was like, if it's good and you're in Alaska, you're getting the bird.
Blow the doors off.
Yeah, blow the doors. I remember Billy just saying that. It's like, if it's good, we're going. Doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter. And, the premiere for that year was just like the height of it. I mean, Fuel TV, Valiant Thor in the parking lot. It was at Volcom. It was the craziest party I've ever. I don't remember shit, but yeah, it was like one of the sickest premieres. That was a heyday. And then, from there, it's like you just, like things happen, economy changes, 07, 08, economy crashes, and then, ownership changes, and then things got kind of sick there for a bit with like caring, because like they cared about sustainability and people, and they did have a lot of contracts. Volcom got crazy with the team, like crazy. It was massive, and that was before I had visibility on it all, but then, I saw some different things happening. Like, I remember Gabe Ford talking about it, and people got like paid out, just balloon payments, but they just needed to clean up like how it looked for the forecast. So yeah, I saw it go down and down and down, and then I finally get in the seat, and I'm just like, this is gonna be sick, just like be able to like do cool projects and make videos and hire team writers and stuff like that. But it was inevitably kind of just,
that's what happens. Though you have this budget with a big number, and then that gets smaller, and then you're working with way less money than you had the year before, and you have to make some tough decisions.
You have to, and you have to like look at it subjectively, because like all the team writers, like I loved every single one. I went to bat for every single one. I knew exactly where they all fit in the puzzle and in the marketing story, from like backcountry to street to like everything. And all of a sudden, like when that, like you say, like when you get a new number, you're just like, damn it. It's like choosing between children or something.
Choosing your kids. Right?
Yeah. You're just like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And always running different things. And it's like, and in different situations, it's like, oh, you're 50, you have to cut 50%. And I'm like, 50? I'm like, how? Like, there's no way. Like, there's
then you end up being
way.
the asshole, and then everybody's like, you're the person that has to hack everybody, either their contract down or fire them, and it's just like you were given a budget, and there's no good way out of it, and it just sucks, right?
There's no, and we tried to get. I kind of pride myself in like really trying to get creative too, with just like different incentives and different things where you can pull things from and. Yeah, ultimately you lose, in it, and how people react is how people react, and like I don't hold it against anybody because it's such a hard thing to understand. And then, you know, and then if you kind of walk it back, like, it's just like, dude, this is a pro. You're a pro snowboarder. Like, you could be pounding nails, you know? And in the end of the day, it's just like, you know, because I watched, you know, a lot of people take a lot of cuts and hits and they still, you know, maintain their drive and like they're stoked for the brand. And, you know, that was highly commendable, you know, like, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, but, you know, I'm trying. Go ahead.
Oh, and just something that I wanted to, I guess, circle back on is so Volcom went through a couple different owners over the years. And really, it comes down to the company that owns Volcom. It's their business decision on what direction they want to go as far as, hey, we want to focus on core retailers and team riders, or we want to go, we don't want to spend any money on that, and we want to just make cheaper gear in big box stores. Like, and so is that kind of part of it? It's like sort of whatever they want to do with the direction of the brand, and then you're kind of like, those are the cards you're dealt.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, who has the license and what are their channels, and that's probably all worked out behind closed doors of like what the direction is, but with the operator and the like IP owner, and then everything kind of fits into that, you know, and you know, when whoever owns it, like people are only gonna ride for snowboard owned brands, and it's like, I don't buy that. Because I've seen a lot of snowboarders screw over snowboarders, you know what I mean? It's like, it comes down to like, okay, who are the people, right? For sure. Who are the people? What are their values? And what is it like to be there, right? And, you know, and I'm not saying it's better or worse now. It's just like, it is what it is, right? It's like, hopefully, like, I would never talk crap about Volcom. It's like talking crap about your parents. Like, you never do it. And, you know, like, I don't agree with how it is. But at the same time, it's just like, it's out of my hands. It's like, go forward. And I wish them the best, you know, because I still got a lot of friends that work there. And you know, I wish them the best. But when I look at it, I'm just like, it's not. It's like,
I mean, how I always like growing up riding Brighton, I would always see you up there in your truck and all of that. And to me, you were like the lifeblood of it, and you like legitimized the program. And I felt like that's what gravitated so many sick riders to Volcom, you know? And like you just hit on, it's like the people are really what make the brands. Yeah. And yeah, when you just are not set up for success in that way, it's just like, it's time to kind of part ways.
The question I have too is with the team particularly, how many people do you know are on the team?
Well, I think 7. I mean, okay, like global team, it's different because like Europe, they didn't get touched, they didn't get phased.
Well, Europe's operates under a different. There's a different group that runs the license in Europe.
It all shattered.
Okay, got it.
Because like before, like we were global. We had the global license. Yep. So Europe reported to us, Australia kind of, they changed actually recently, but like Japan. But now it's like, I don't even honestly know exactly the ins and out of how it's shattered, but it's shattered. Europe is operating on their own. They got their own budget, you know, whatever their channels are and product. Same with Japan. I don't know what that is. Australia is like, I think they were with the Board Riders acquisition. They kind of got pulled into that side. So it's different. It's like, it looks all different. And as far as like who I manage, I think there's like, for sure, 6.
Cut down from how many?
I have close to like 15, 16. Yep. Yeah. Like Canadians and, you know, and I had to just, that's
crazy. Well,
and go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's sad because there's good people that still work there, like you said, trying to do good things. You know, they're trying to do good things, and then ultimately, is it gonna be, you know, just, you know, throwing some pig on a lipstick and, you know, they're just selling to big box, or are they gonna do cool things for core snowboarding? Are they gonna support snowboarding in ways that you know are important to the community? Time will tell.
Was it just snowboarding, or I saw videos of surfers too, like taking Volcom stickers off too. Is it skate and snow too? It's everything.
It's
right?
everything. And to go back to like, I appreciate, you know, like you know, saying that I held it down for the snow program in Brighton and you know, just seeing me. But like, dude, I looked up to so many people like Remy Stratton, Ryan Imagart, like they just held that torch super high. Brad Doherty, Richie, like I worked with Richie. Richie, he ran the global surf department, you know, with Brad. And dude, he was like sending us boxes back in the day. Like worked in the back warehouse, and this like he's just the stoniest, sickest dude. Like you want him, and he's always good vibes. And yeah, it's crazy, you know, because there's so many of us, I think, in our own expertise. You know, Kurt Mindus, he was doing the music, and oh my gosh, like every video that I ever made for Volcom was just like, he would handle all the music so easy. He knew everybody. It was like, yep, $500, let's go. So there's so many good people like that. I, you know, too many to name even. They know who they are. That, yeah, it's just, it's a bummer. And like no matter who, you know, where it comes from, like those people, like, we all fed off each other. We all wanted to do awesome things. We all wanted to just keep going. You know, Diego started the new mountain bike program, just like charging into uncharted waters for Volcom, which was sick. And yeah, and now we'll see where it goes. Like for me, it's like I'm psyched to take whatever I can bring. You know, like to put the 24 years behind me and just keep charging because, you know, root down. I love snowboarding. That's it. So,
Boom.
Yeah.
Well said, Seth.
thanks.
For sharing all that. That was
thank you.
fascinating.
Sorry if I got off the rails, but
No,
that was amazing.
That was really amazing.
it's a nutshell.
We're going to keep this thing moving here. We're going to get into a segment of the show called Nitro Turbo Takes. Here we go.
Welcome to Nitro Turbo Takes.
Nitro Snowboards. These questions are submitted by Pindu Elias.
Nitro Snowboards has been building snowboard products, boards, boots, and bindings for over 34 years and has one simple mission: to inspire people to get out and go snowboarding and support their local and global community by supporting the shops, the organizations, and the people who are dedicating their lives to this.
Okay, these questions are from Canute. Do you guys know Canute?
Oh yeah.
You know Canute, Joey?
Boom.
Who? No, I'm just kidding. I do.
Oh God.
Saw him last week at Interlude. It was nice to see him.
Knute's the man.
In the States.
Guys, he apparently doesn't get jet lagged. He
Really?
doesn't believe in it.
I love that.
He's a flat earther.
He's a flat earther.
He's a
He's like time zones, they don't exist. Earth's flat. What do you mean?
It's a flat earther. We just found it out. Canute. All right, we got no Silk here, so I'll do my best to do as good as Silk. First question is for everybody. Frontside or backside spin? Joey?
Backside.
Frontside.
I'm absolutely frontside.
front side.
This is for Chris, myself. Funniest thing you heard someone say during the Boston heavy metal. Todd was being really funny on the mic. He said he grew up in a state where he thought the plastic bag was the state bird. That was my favorite comment he said on the mic. He was on fire. All right, Joey. Who is winning a Chinese downhill race down Millie Bowl between you and everyone in your family?
I'll say my older brother, Vinny. Yeah, he's more of an all-mountain ATV, I guess.
We got more
attacker.
Favas?
Yeah, there's an older brother.
I've
that
never even heard of the Vinny
Did
Bob.
he race
Damn.
Baker Banked recently?
Yeah, Vinny was
Did
up
he
there.
just win?
He got
class?
in his class.
He won his
Vinny
class.
won in his
I saw that
class.
on the sheet.
Yeah, he charges.
So Vinny's
dude.
a certified wet.
Vinny's a year older than Pat, and then we have 2 older sisters, and I have 4 nieces also. So yeah, there's 5 of us. I'm the youngest of 5.
Homie got a podium at Baker Banked.
Yeah,
Or a
he did.
win. Right?
Yeah, he got a
He's
one. Yeah, he
sporting
won
duct
in his group. Yeah, he
That's
got
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
what in the family? What is more coveted, the heavy metal win or the duct tape?
Oh man,
Who got more celebrated in your family group
Oh,
text?
sorry, Vin. Maybe me. But I would say Vinny would probably win in the downhill race for sure.
All right, we got a question for Jay Stone. What do you prefer, a long radius side cut or a short radius side cut on an everyday board?
I'd go short radius because if you're kind of just cruising the mountains, fun to have a board that you can rip turns back and forth super quick, hit some side hits. Longer radius is fun when you're going really fast and trying to charge. So
What about a bit twitchy on the jumps though? No.
Yeah. Bit twitchy on the jumps. You want that flat side cut for the jumps.
Yeah, it seems like you're getting turned into a little bit of a turn. Like you're riding around the steel with that thing. I don't know.
I run the Sharpies, but I'll hit steels still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a little questionable. Next question's for Seth. Favorite trick you've ever filmed? Nice.
Buzzing.
Hit the buzzer.
I would have to say the front side 270 over the rail to ledge in St. Paul, Minnesota in my real snow.
Woo. Woo.
I was completely in a KO daze at that point, trying to get clips for real snow. Got concussed first day of the trip. I don't even remember doing the trick, so.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a heavy one.
So, yeah, not good on the brain, but legendary. Good for the part.
Good for the part, not for the brain.
Good for the part. Okay, next question is for everybody. Do you all tighten your bindings to the max when you ride? If not, when do you keep them a little loose? I think he's talking about the straps.
I would say a street spot or riding park. I crank it down as much as I can, I think. Yeah, definitely. And then I feel like maybe POW, maybe a little looser in the boots, maybe, and maybe the straps as well.
I don't know. I feel like I'm always searching for one more click. The only time I loosen them is maybe when I'm in the lift line or something. But other than that, I'm always looking for that last click.
Yeah, I need the psychological one last click for like a POW jump. But then other than that, I kind of just run them like pretty normal everywhere else.
Yeah, I'm a never spend your last dollar type of person. So I'll run it and I'll just know that click is there.
Yep.
Because you never know, you roll up on Walters, you might need another click.
Well, fatty to flatty.
That's right.
You want to click in the chamber, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Click in the chamber for sure.
Got it.
Click in the chamby.
This is for Chris, myself. How many smelling salts do you think you've done so far? And in parentheses, take another. Okay, where are the salts?
That's all doing.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. I don't know. I've probably done like 6.
I think my salt count is up to
or maybe 4.
3.
I don't know, 4.
No, I dropped
What do you
on
think?
4.
What do you think lifetime salts?
Lifetime
Couple chowie?
Oh, for sure in the Thowies, yeah. I mean, 10 an episode, 200 episodes. I guess we've done, maybe started doing salts around 100. I mean, easily, conservatively, 1,000.
At about episode 150, your left eye started twitching.
Well,
no side effects though.
Everybody talks about are there long-term side effects. I'm like, well, I'm the test dummy. And
Yeah, you're the
tell
lab
me.
rat.
You tell me.
I got a hot take though. This is the best trend in snowboarding. Smelling salts.
Wow, I like that.
People have been loving them.
Available.bombhole.com if you're looking for them. All right, Joey, it seems like you have... hold on, let me read this again. I'm getting cross-eyed here, so maybe the smelling salts are not... It seems like you have done or know almost every trick. What trick are you still trying to learn?
Back blunt, same way.
Oh, shit.
That's not your thing?
I'm terrible at that.
Really?
Shit.
Switch, though, all day.
I can do a switch all the time, but I would say back blunt, same way.
Okay, maybe back to
That's
the
amazing.
basics. Stune's got that one unlocked.
That's kind of like my
That's his
go-to.
butter, yeah.
Well, if you can teach me how to back 3 onto a down bar, I'll teach you how to blunt same way.
All right, let's do it.
Unofficial Nitro Turbo takes. What's the key to back 3ing onto a down bar?
Owl head. Just kidding.
Owl head?
Owl head.
Turn your head.
Yeah. If you watch, you or Pat, you guys are like full 270 neck, board straight off the lip.
You just aim for the inside. Right?
Yeah.
You just gotta
I always
aim
say go a little wider than you
wide,
think, and then you'll land right on it.
Yeah, aim for the inside.
Yeah.
Like aim, if you're goofy,
Yeah.
aim right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll land right on top.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes over. All right. Jay Stone, what are a few main things people should look into when buying a new snowboard?
Would say first and foremost, the style of board, like what style of riding you want to do. Because I get this a lot with people who say they've had 2 or 3 snowboards and they're like, okay, I'm really looking to progress in this way, whether it's park riding or all mountain riding. So I think really having an understanding of what you want to get out of your new snowboard when you're buying it, and then look from there, like how directional it is, how stiff it is. And then at some point in the show, we should get into sizing of boards, because that's like, I probably get hit up more about how to size boards than anything else. But yeah, style of like really how you want to progress. So if you want to get into the park, like really going after a park specific board or doing a little bit of everything, looking at widths, those are really important. But yeah, I would say style of board and stiffness is going to be like the main things you want to be looking at.
Okay.
Flex matters.
Yeah, big time.
Seth, do you like being a pro snowboarder or working in the industry better?
I honestly think it's one and the same. Yeah, like, because I think being a pro snowboarder is super fun. You just snowboard, you're focused. But in the industry is super fun too, because you like could formulate sick ideas start to finish and execute and be a part of bigger things, I guess. So yeah, I can't answer that question as a either or. It's both. It's the same.
That's fire. Okay, next question. Do you wax and hot scrape or wax and cold scrape?
Joey's
I'm like,
when was the last time you waxed?
Do you wax? Question mark.
yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do wax.
Do you scrape?
I scrape.
Do you scrape immediately after waxing or do you wait? and then
Okay, I
scrape?
let it wait. I think I set it outside sometimes.
Yeah.
Let it cool down and scrape.
Dude, I'm a hot scrape guy.
Yeah.
I just feel
Do
like
it
you
right
can.
away.
I like it, dude. You can get it. I mean, I know it doesn't take as well, but then I take out my little whatever the hell it's
Yeah,
called.
your Scotch Brite
My
pad.
Scotch Brite pad, and I buff it all out, and then I take my little metal brush, and it's like I feel like I know that it takes better if you wait, but I feel like I can just. It's so much easier to scrape and get buttery when it's a hot wax.
Your hands are like crippled by the end of it. They're so tired from scraping cold wax. But I go cold scrape for sure, because. But we were saying everyone who rides woodies should go wax no scrape to keep the rails fast. Because if you have that's a Stevens trick that I heard that he never scrapes. So if he hits like a concrete ledge or something, you slide faster.
Same with that's what Tiarn said. Tiarn said that too.
Yeah.
He's like, I wax and I don't scrape, so the rails slide better.
Yeah, so everyone at Woody's should do that, and
It's
then
a pro tip.
the rails would be flying.
I'm definitely a warm scraper. I absolutely despise scraping. I don't not scrape. It's like
You hate cold scraping.
That's part. I hate any scraping. That's part of the worst part of the job. You know, they say, yeah, I want one of those drill. I'm gonna get one of those drill
Roto
things.
brush.
And dude, that's it. Like, throw on some wax, rip the drill, done. But because I love a wax snowboard, and an unscraped wax snowboard sucks like the first two runs.
Yeah, especially in POW. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
it's
park
terrible.
it's fine, but in POW it's awful. It's like Velcro.
You got one of those drills, J-Stone?
Oh yeah.
Damn, is it
Like-
worth getting?
Oh yeah, they're insane.
So you
Like
just
$200.
well, you can it's a drill bit. Isn't
Yeah,
it just a
you
drill
can just
bit?
get like they have different size of the roto brushes, but they're probably not too crazy, but it's a game changer
Really?
for waxing. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Your shit's looking butter when you're done.
So when you put structure in, do you go north to south or do you do any 45s?
I go if I'm racing, if we're going like Nils Tech, you go 45s because if you have structure in your base, when you go 45, you brush the wax out of the structure of your base, so that's reducing the suction to the snow, and then you go tip to tail to finish it off because you want all of those streaks going in one direction.
Damn.
So yeah, 45 to open up the structure is that's the pro tip.
Damn. We're learning. There's probably some science that he could tell us that I don't want to hear about that. It sounds boring. That's great. Joey, this is from Canute as well. You're always riding with so much fun energy, jibbing, buttering, crab walking, and all types of terrain. I know a lot of people would love to ride with more fun energy like you. What tips would you have for people looking to bring some more jibbing, buttering, and fun into their normal runs?
I would say just surround yourself with the people you want to be with and just have that energy around you at all times and just, I don't know. Or if you're by yourself, put on some crazy music and just have a good time, or drink a lot of coffee.
Maybe ride a spring break mountain twin or
Yeah,
or whatever
exactly.
it is.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Whatever.
That new graphic's sick, by the way.
the graphic
I
is
love that
sick.
new graphic.
Or maybe drink some Dales.
Drink some Dales.
Oh god.
But
Incredible.
yeah, I'd say just, I don't know. It's just energy. I don't know what the joy it brings us all.
Was the first crab walk by accident?
I mean, I've always done it kind of just
really?
messed around. I mean, I did see an old video, Scott, whatever, but I just caught one on film with High Def Jeff one day. or with Scott, and then Hyde us like we should film one, and then it just took off.
That one that went viral. Did you think it was like an insane clip, or were you just like, oh, that was cool?
I thought it was goofy as hell.
That thing just blew up. That was so insane.
But it was incredible.
Yeah.
High speed as well.
Yeah.
All right, Seth, you have been involved with snowboarding for decades. Where does your passion for snowboarding come from?
It's just the first love. Straight up. Yeah. Fell in love with it at 14. That's the passion. Never look back. That answer?
It's a great answer. Jay Stone, is snowboarding gear environmentally sustainable?
Absolutely not. I mean, unfortunately, it's just like that's there's no beating around the bush. I mean, we're trying everything we can to figure it out, but it's one of those things where, there are a lot of sustainable materials out there in the world. But so right now we make a board. If you don't snap it, like a board will last a long, long time, like maybe it gets soft and whatever, but there's a lot of materials out there we could use that are more sustainable, but your board might break in half a season. So now all of a sudden you're needing twice as many snowboards or 5 times as many snowboards. You're filling the landfill with all of these boards that, use more sustainable materials, but half of it wasn't. So you're creating more garbage. So yeah, my whole thing is I try to make boards that last as long as possible. Like we have a lot of durability standards, and I want to make sure everything is going to last someone as long as they possibly can have it, so then you're not throwing it away. But we're trying our best.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
I like that.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's like driving a car. It's terrible for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got to ship them all around the world. It's a nightmare. Okay, this one's for me. Chris, what's next for Bomb Hole? Good question. We're building the plane as we fly it, as I like to say.
Doors are off.
We got some exciting stuff. We're coming up on year 5 here. We've been doing it for a while, and we got some changes coming, some new stuff that we're going to be getting going here. But we got some fun stuff coming down. It's exciting time here at the Bomb Hole.
Bomb Hole Cup.
Bomb Hole Cup.
Bomb Hole Cup.
We do have Bomb Hole Cup. I'll announce. Actually, I'll take the second to plug Bomb Hole Cup because at Evo Hotel, it's April 5th and 6th. Our registration's live right now for Bomb Hole Cup. We're doing the national anthem, the flyover, all the classes. We got more classes. We've broken up some of the bigger age groups and divided them in half. So that's like, I believe it's like 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44. We got beginner class. If it's your first year snowboarding, come race beginner. Skiers are allowed. You just got to ride a snowboard. We got skiers on boards class. It's just so if you're,
Everyone's welcome.
Don't say we don't.
Skiers are allowed.
Don't say we don't allow skiers. You can be a skier. You just have to ride a snowboard. It's fine. And then Evo gave us a cool deal. 25% off your stay. We have a link on our site under promo codes bar. So if you're coming to town for Bomb Hole Cup, you can stay at Evo and click the promo codes link on our website, and you can save 25% off at our hotel. They always help us out, put up our guests when we're doing shows. So next question. Dan, we got a lot from Canoe today. Here we go. What advice do you have for the listeners looking to be more a part of the snowboard community and how they can support it?
Show up. Go to the events. Go to the local shops. Just be a part of it.
Yep. Hanging around is the most important thing you can do if you want to get into the industry. Like, go to every premiere event, go to the shops, hang out, meet as many people as you can, and good things will happen to you.
Yeah. I think we're doing it, dude. I think we're doing a good job. People are showing up. Silk. Yeah. This question's for Silk. I'll be standing Silk. Who has the best kit in the booth today? I do. I have the best kit.
I would say
Ski-Doo. Yeah.
Got a Ski-Doo. I'll give it to Joey. Joey looks good.
it's a Dale's hat.
It's a Dale's hat.
Yeah, do it for Dale's. What advice would you give someone who's looking to buy snowboard gear for the next season? This is for Seth.
I would kind of like think about what you want out of it, and then I would get in and to a shop, try whatever you need to, look at it, study it, research it. What feels comfortable, what looks good, what makes you feel good. Like, you don't want to look down on some board that's got some random shape just because someone told you to buy it. Like, what feels good. You can get used to pretty much anything. If you're in the you're in the scope of what you're going to use it for. So I think, just go in there and find what's speaking to you.
Love it. Okay, everybody, what product in your setup, boards, boots, bindings, outerwear, is the one you ride for the longest period of time before changing it up?
I would say my boots. Yeah, probably my boots.
Yeah, bindings. Yeah, I try to run them as long as I possibly can.
Oh, yeah, the inner boot liner.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can switch out shells, but the inner boot liner there's a intimate relationship.
Yeah, I'm on like year 3 of mine right now.
Yeah.
3 new shells.
We should ask Scott about that one. He had these liners from like 4 years ago. He's, I don't know why my foot's hurting, dude. I'm like, it's probably those liners, dude.
Yeah, that's a pro tip if you want to not go through the break-in process of a new boot. Throw the old liners in. All right, last questions for Jay Stone. Would you rather spend a POW day on a POW surf or a snowboard?
It depends on...
Or a snowmobile.
Ooh.
Or a ski-doo.
Ooh. It'd be a Polaris. I would say if it's somewhere like Pow Mau on a POW surf, 100%. There's not a lot to jump off there, but it's just endless powder ride. But if I'm at Brighton, snowboard for sure.
Fantastic.
A lot of like getting places using the board.
Yeah.
And you're not going straight down to Brighton much. You're
you're all over the place. But the first couple laps on Millie on a POW surf is insane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Have you done like straight down the bowl?
Yeah.
Oh.
For sure. Yeah, that's where it's at.
All right, coming up later, we still got product talk. We still got some check-ins with these guys, and then a call from Scott Stevens, maybe Tommy Gesme, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back soon. All right, big news coming from GoPro. GoPro is awarding $120,000 this winter for Line of the Winter. There is 4 categories. We're talking men's ski, women's snowboard, women's snowboard. There are monthly winners for January, February, March, April for each category. Each take home $5,000 cash. Then there is one overall winner for each category, $10,000 cash. To enter, all you need to do is submit your raw POV to gopro.com/awards. And there's a standalone category for women's this year. And I've been hearing there's not that many submissions, so a lot of opportunity to take home some big money. Also, I'm going to be a judge along with Gaffney, Ingrid, Elena, and Sage. So again, check out gopro.com/awards and submit your POV video today. All right, folks, if you love coffee, listen up. I love chugging coffee, specifically on a cold winter day. I don't know if there's anything better. So we got the Yeti 34-ounce French press in front of me here, and it is a weapon. Picture this. You're up at the mountain. It's a cold day. It's snowing. Actually, it's not snowing. It's bluebird, but it's frigid. You know, you're in Saskatoon or you're in Winnipeg. It's absolutely blistering cold. What's better than a hot cup of coffee? You can get yourself this French press, and it seals in heat like nothing I've ever seen before. You guys know Yeti products. You make a hot cup of coffee in one of their mugs, it's going to stay hot for a long time. Same goes for this Yeti French press. It's got this plunger technology. I don't know how it works, but it seals in the heat really well. You want to be a hit at the tailgate when you're at the resort? Pick up the Yeti 34-ounce French press, and you'll be the belle of the ball. All right, folks, it's a pleasure. We actually happen to have Scott Stevens on the line here on the other end, all the way from Massachusetts. Stevens, how we doing, partner?
What's up, buddy? You guys caught me. I'm jibbing in the backyard, dude. So I don't really have time for this shit.
You still in Massachusetts?
No, I'm just kidding. I had this one jib set up, and I was like, it's at my parents' house. There's like a little hill, and there's snow on the ground, and there's this one jib set up, and I was just like, let's just go inside and take this call, because I was like definitely gonna get started, and then like you guys were gonna call, and I was gonna have to like be multitasking, which I can't do. So
what are we thinking on this jib? What do we got in store?
So I my dad. I'm not trying to air anybody out here, but he's kind of a hoarder, and it's a beautiful thing that he is, because there's all this like junk around the house. Because I mean, let's face it, like I'm in a weird phase of life right now where my dad, he's turning 80 and he can't even like do anything with all the junk he's collected over the years. So this is kind of like a last hurrah to use it, so to speak. So I found a huge tire, like a CrossFit tire. And then I found like just a shitty table. And then I found a corrugated tube, and I got a hill, and I got an iPhone and a tripod. So that's all I really need today.
Okay, Scott, I got something for you. Is any of this features, were they featured in your Sponsor Me tape that you sent to Capita way back in the day? Because I saw that tape with Blue. Me and Blue sat down and watched that. Was any of that?
Was I writing for?
No, this is before.
Geez, it could be. Oh, it might have been. I must have been on Academy at the time.
Because you were definitely in your backyard in that tape.
Well, I have a gentle little hill here, and it's wonderful. But I want to. Oh shit, man! If that my answer would be probably Seth.
Amazing, love it.
Probably, yeah.
Well, we were just at Red Bull Heavy Metal. We were talking about it earlier, the just giant crowd. We're obviously both from Massachusetts, so just so cool to see the East Coast show up for that thing. Do you have any thoughts on the event?
Yeah, that was impressive, man. Joe and Oren and the other Joe, and all the Red Bull team, man, they really brought out a crowd. Holy shit. I didn't know that even existed anymore. So to see you in front of a crowd wearing your Bruins jersey and asking if anybody out there liked the Boston Bruins, that was a fun moment too.
They went nuts. They were going nuts.
Oh,
you know what gets them fired up?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, dude. Yeah, that was insane, dude. Yeah. What I don't know, man. I mean, the section 1 looked pretty fun to ride, and then section 2 looked pretty nuts. I mean, if you weren't there in person, it looked probably like nuts, but in person, it, physically standing on top of the thing, I was like, well, this is pretty dangerous. Like this whole winch setup,
Straight up. Well, let's talk about.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta wonder. It had to have been a nightmare to be a judge. Like just like you only had 2 spots to give away. Everybody's riding well. That's always got to be hard.
Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, the last rail, we had like a little split judging decision on, where some of the judges wanted the board slide down the kink, and some of the judges wanted the half cab 50 because it was cleaner. And I mean, honestly, I could have gone either way. My heart was leaning one direction, but it's hard. It's really hard. And then we just made a compromise with all the judges, and then the other sections were like, I mean, if you saw that first section, that one line Zeb did was such a standout. If you were standing there, that like you could not give it to him,
I don't know how he landed the half cab butterback rodeo in that flat ice hockey rink of a landing. Doesn't even make sense, Joey.
Exactly.
You read that.
Yeah. Every time I landed on that hurts so bad, dude.
Well, I mean, like, I think what wins a section is just a moment, like more so than how many things they did, which is always impressive, is just one moment that's like, fuck, that would be hard to replicate that. That's always like a moment as a judge when you're like, okay, that just stayed in my head. It replays in my head over and over. So that's how you win those contests, I think, is you just get the judge's attention on a wow factor.
Love it. Now, I heard you've been in the streets filming. I heard you were telling me that Joey's been on a little bit of a tear.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, I don't want to speak for you, so step in. But you kind of were a little slow at first, and I could tell that you were like, oh, I can't wait to get going, get my first clip. And then all of a sudden, when it rains, it pours. You just started just throwing hammers at every spot we were at.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a blast, dude. It definitely was a kind of a hard start at first. I was trying to switch 50 on this pretty insane kink curl and didn't get it. I had to walk away. But then I think one day Scott, we all got 6 clips together as a crew in one day.
That's
and
a good
kind of
day.
after that, we all just started kind of going off, and yeah.
That's a
Probably
dent in the timeline.
Yeah, probably some of my best street clips to date. So I'm really stoked on that.
Woo.
What are you guys filming for?
32 is making a movie.
Sick. Whole team movie?
Whole team movie. Yeah.
We got a name.
I think Trey Deuce.
Trey Deuce.
Yeah.
Love that.
Stevens, how's the footy stack looking?
Yeah, I mean, my program these days is like, we filmed a lot of video parts between me, Hugh, and Seth. And when you start to climb in age, I think it's important to be a part of them and root the guys on and get yours when you can. So I wasn't stacking like an unimaginable amount. I got one thing that I was really hyped on, and I'm more of a quality over quantity phase right now. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to see these guys. I mean, Phil Hansen is he's a street machine. He will deny it, because he's just so nice with the turns in the mountains. But I mean, he's unbelievable in the streets, man. The way these guys maintain every spot and make them semi-safe, and how effective they are going out at night, setting it up, and then getting it ready for tomorrow, and just dudes like Dan Breezy and Pat Moore and Bodie, who used to make the huge spots back in the day, like they'd be proud. These guys have carried the torch of street snowboarding, where it's like they're super efficient builders. And I saw them do some really gnarly things that were seemingly safe and easy because they're just so dialed. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Any notables for you on that trip, going down, Pat? Or Joey? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Phil definitely went in. And then Viz, too. Viz was just there to, I think he's kind of hurt right now, but he was there and just shoveling like an animal, too, the whole, 9 days we were there. It was awesome. But being out in the streets with Scott, if he told 10-year-old me I was doing that, I would be freaking out. So it was a dream just to be out there with you, Scott. It's awesome.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I was kind of riding like a 10-year-old, but
he got some heaters. He got some heaters.
An interesting topic too, Scott, that we've probably gone through with our arc of filming careers, I guess you could call it, is that at first you kind of have to learn the art of how to film a part where, I used to go out and try to film the craziest trick. My first 3 goes, strike out, and then your confidence is a little shook. There's kind of an art form to spot selection, figuring out what's going to work, knowing what's going to be a good clip. And from what you were telling me, it sounds like Joey kind of found it. I don't know if you want to add to that at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was looking at some sketchy shit. Like Joe, somebody was telling me you were looking at this one rail that had the gap in it and the pillar at the bottom, and somebody said you were going to switch lip, gap switch lip 270 it. And I was just like, dude, I think I might have to actually call this guy off this if he does that, because if he hits the pillar, it's like we're going to have to bury this guy tonight. Yeah. But yeah. Like Joe was saying, between Viz and Phil and Hitman, and I was running a lot of camera. I was running a lot of second angles for HDJ, and Eli was there too. We had a super sick crew, and some of these guys know how to make the spot just safe enough that it's still an insanely talented snowboarder can only tackle the spot, but they make it safe enough that the stairs, the snow's rolling over on the edge of the stairs so you won't get pitched forward, or say something's sticking out. These guys got it covered up with something, or, they're making sure the concrete slides, or it's the speed that they can build a overhead high drop in, like an 8-foot drop in out of snow was insane, dude. Yeah. I was tripping, dude. So.
But what about the night we all went out and you did your first backflip off a swing?
Yeah, dude, I've never done that. I've watched Decade. There's that clip of Yoni Malmi in Decade where he flips off a swing, and somehow 30 years later, I'd never done it. So I'm out with Joe, learning it at night while we're shoveling a spot.
It was so fun.
How was the
best night?
How was the first commitment?
I think he landed on his feet, slipped out.
Yeah, it was fine. I just felt like such a puss, but to be honest, it was just some of the nights where you go out as a crew and you build the night before are some of the best nights. You're not planning on riding, so your mind's just like, oh, I could do anything I want. And then the next day comes and you're like, fuck, reality setting in.
Good God,
but like the night before, the night before, you're like an absolute legend. You know, you're just like, okay, I'm good.
It was so fun.
Or the couch claim too. I fucking back to that thing.
Yeah, for sure. You go up there next
That's
day.
exactly what was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, 100%. We're just, but anyhow, like Joey and Hitman and Phil and Viz, they all kind of made those claims realities. So yeah, this is going to be a great movie. I like sometimes wish just the stage on that we could go 2 year, but I think Phil has like an insane timeline right now, so it's not really fair to like be like, let's push it to 2 years when this guy could put out like a Mark Johnson video part. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Stampers, buddy.
That
Brett
kid
is
shout out the
so
Hitman.
sick.
Yeah.
That kid.
Oh wow, he's amazing.
yeah, dude.
But Scott, hey, I gotta just say,
Yeah.
like, it's so sick. I'm really looking forward to this part you're gonna put out. And I always tell Mason, my kid, all the time. I'm just like, you know, because he's always watching everything that you do, like on the tramp skate and all your skate clips, the snow clips. But I'm like, what really sets him apart, referring to you, is I'm like, take note, because he keeps himself entertained. He's like, you've always been able to just like keep pushing the boundaries, no matter what you're on, and you're just always entertained. And I just want to say that I really appreciate that. And yeah, man, keep crushing, because I love to see it.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, man. Well, I'm a fanatic. Like, I'm a deep fanatic. I even forget what I'm capable of sometimes, and I'll just say something I saw recently. You posted in the last year or so some old footage of you at Brighton, and the arc of like snowboarding. Like, those are still great clips, man. You doing cab sevens and underflips and shit all around, crest and millie and whatnot. And it's like I strive to be a good snowboarder like that, but in the process of striving to be that snowboarder, I like have fun dorking around, and it seems like that's almost like a rarity for people to do these days at a professional level. Maybe I'm like kind of getting confused.
No, like it keeps you going in a sense of like you're entertained always, and that's what keeps your passion and your drive going. Because like, say do some big 270 or some big trick, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I'm glad I'm done with that. I'm never doing that again. And you get done and you're just like, man, but what if I did this? And I keep, like, you're always thinking like to the next level. I'm just like, dude, I just did that. Like, I'm done. I'm good. But I can see it in your snowboarding that you always want more, and it's like you say, you're an addict, and I love that about it, and in all aspects, because it's whether it's like seeing you just like slappy a curb on your skateboard and do all these different variations. I'm like, how the hell is he still there doing that and so stoked? Like, that right there is like something that sets you apart that no one can touch. Love it.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that, and I look to guys like you that have a few extra years on me, and it's awesome, because like, it's going to be really sad when I don't have guys 10 years plus in front of me still freestyle snowboarding. That will be like and I hope that never happens.
Shadow ain't never stopping.
Yeah, Shadow ain't stopping.
Yeah, so yeah, Seth and Chad and Jeremy and Brian Aguchi, and I mean, I haven't seen freestyle in a bit, but I'm sure he could turn it on. And there's so many other people. I mean, Travis is older than me.
Richards,
LeBlanc,
Richards. Oh, Richards. Yeah, dude. Well, Richards, he's beginning. I don't even think you guys talk about how he's an anomaly enough. Like, 55 is crazy, dude. To be flipping at 55, that's fucking incredible, man. And that's really inspiring for me, So, and I just like, I didn't really give myself many options of alternatives. So I'm stoked to be out there filming, stoked to be out there creating energy. And if I can get mine in the process, that's just like, that makes my world complete. So
I got another subject I think you could probably tee off on, and I think it's when you look at, you're just on this trip, you're with a group of, 6 guys, when it's your time to film, the camera's on you, all the attention's on you, a lot of pressure, but it seems to me that you thrive more by yourself, in your parents' backyard, camera on a tripod, letting your creativity really fly.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I went on this trip a lot for myself to see where I was at because I hadn't done it in a long time. And I also went because Brian Cook kind of nudged me a little bit, but that was helpful. But yeah, I think like I can take a long time to get things, and I get embarrassed about that, especially the fact that like I do get quite a bit of attention from my snowboarding in my eyes, more than I sometimes think I deserve. So like when I'm out there in person, I get like kind of insecure about where I'm at in snowboarding. And, when the final product's there, I'm like I'm happy with it, but yeah, like I think Seth said, I always am searching for more. I want to be better. I want to have a better method. I want to be able to do better this or that. And these are just small things that are pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of life, but it's sometimes good to hone in on something that's like not life or death. So I forgot the questions.
No, it's great. No, that was goddamn beautiful snowboard philosophy is what that was. That's all that was. But like certain aspects of the tripod is like, I mean, and I brought him up, and in no way, shape, or form do I get to this guy's skill level. But I get the feeling Daylon really does not like going out with filmers because there's certain reasons, and this was not the case, Chris, as we were younger, because like our skill level was more on par with where snowboarding was at, and as that fades away from you, you have to get creative and you have to get like just crafty with it. So like to a certain degree, if I can put out a good clip and I don't have to have a company fund it, I don't have to have a budget, I can have a light footprint when it comes to what the company has to spend. I mean, for a company's sake, that's incredible. This guy can just go out and create content where your gear and your board and your bindings, your boots, your outerwear can be seen, and they didn't have to pay for a filmer to fly to you. I mean, that's fantastic. So I think that's part of the thing that I've been searching for the past few years, but I don't want to get it to the point where like I don't have friends and I can't be social with people, because you see that in YouTube skateboarding where there are these guys that they just can't be social with people anymore because they're not used to it, and I don't want that because we're already getting to the point where like everything has an app or a QR code or something that, I don't know. It's just like, we need to be outdoors with friends. And in my case, sometimes I have to do it alone just because of the things that are going on in my head and aging, and taking people's time. That's where, honestly, I'm going to stop this rant in a second, but I hate wasting people's time the older I get, because like, man, Chris, think about how many filmers we wasted their time. Yeah, we broke a couple. We've broke a couple.
I remember when I filmed you on that Minnesota trip, and I was a filmer. That was like my first like filmer role. And you looked,
remember that well.
You looked at every single clip. Can I see that? I was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
Oh, dude.
What do you mean? You didn't even fucking come close. Can I see that? But it was amazing. I watched your process of like, you had to see it in order to do it. And like dissecting that part of your brain, seeing that. And I was like, wow, this kid has got something no one else has. It's amazing.
Well, dude, I'm a pill, Seth. Like, I actually love that you brought that up because that's part of it. Dude, like that, and that was 2011, Seth. So I mean, think about how much more the like, especially with how good everybody is. I mean, you can go on your phone, give it one flick, and you're just like, fuck, I don't even think I can even, you know, it's intimidating, you know? Like,
you got to remember though that you can go on Instagram and see 10 double corks in a day, but you will only see one of you doing crazy 1 foot, like finger flips out. So give yourself a little credit, you know? It's like you're doing stuff that no one's ever done.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. And, you know, I also like always need to throw this also is that like I really do love traditional snowboarding. You know what I mean? Like I just get in where I fit in, but like, you know, I really love seeing any facet of snowboarding from that 2340 to who's somebody that goes smaller than me?
Chris Beresford.
I can't think of
Beresford doing an indie grab.
yeah.
Timeless.
Yeah, Beresford's yes, exactly. Beresford's a great example. Like he's just like he could do an ollie at the Mellowstone at like on like one of his little BMX jumps, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. I'm like that was something special. And you know, I actually learned so much from him because I was kind of a sledgehammer into the landing for so many years, and I think he rubbed off on me where I was like, damn, that front three was kind of sick, and here I am just rodeo front 850 to my face, you know, at Blanford. And I'm looking at Chris and I'm just like, so shouts to Chris. I mean, I think he twisted me on a different trajectory, which I'll always like aspire to have his level of control and style on any size thing.
Hey, Scott, I got a question for you on your recent binding change.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats on that, by the way. It's really sick. That team that you guys got going over there is pretty stacked. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been hearing good things, and I want to hear your perspective on them. And also, like, couldn't think of a better person to put on that team as far as like your creativity and like what you can potentially unlock with those bindings. So yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on them, and yeah, stoked for you on that move.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a strange couple months for me, but the people, the Nidecker brothers, definitely gave me an opportunity that was pretty unbelievable. And I'm a creature of habit, so it was really hard for me to change up gear, like extremely hard for me, like more than you guys will ever know. And extreme to change up friendships too, or not even friendships, but just my rhythm. I don't like to alter anything. So I tried the binding and I was like, oh shit, I can do all the same things in it, except it opens a few more doors. So instead of being closed-minded to something, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this out and see if I can evolve it. And I think there are a lot of ways to evolve it. First of all, I think it's an incredible thing for snowboarders who like to experiment. My mom's yelling at me.
Tell your mom I said hi.
Okay, well, yeah, well, my parents are like, they've gotten to an age that it's like anybody who's like my age or your age, Chris, is like, my parents are a little older too. So like, you're just like, oh man, it's an emotional state when your parents get to an age where you're just like, oh God, like they're officially old. And they're like looking for me right now. I'm in the basement.
Your dad still got the speed bag down there?
The speed bag's not down here. No, speed bag's not down here. Damn. But okay.
You're talking about the 32 bindings.
Yeah. So I just I've been learning, you know, but you never have to sit down. I mean, that's what it is, you know. I mean, some people, it might not be their thing, but for crying out loud, I'm faster getting in them. I never have to sit down. I mean, the ladders are already. When I was at Timberline using it, I was giving tutorials everywhere. I was getting stopped literally everywhere about these bindings, and I was like, you know, there is an insane market for people that want to try something new. And that was crazy to me because I was such a traditional two-strap person. But I think it does cater to me because there are some little fun, quirky things that you can do that could be evolved over time. And I think the way these bindings were engineered, it's pretty impressive. And I'm glad I took a leap of faith to be like, hey, let's try something new and get out of your comfort zone. And these guys sell a massive amount of bindings in Europe. So this is their freestyle, hybrid 2-strap binding. And that actuator that's in the back, that when you put your foot in, it's pretty unbelievable how it works, to be completely honest. I don't move the toe strap. So that's one thing that these bindings are super special to me, because I don't have to ratchet. I'm not a super heavy ratchet person. I'd argue, we should go around the room, people, how tight they like their bindings, if you don't mind me asking.
Crank them down.
Cranker. How about Joey?
Joey's a cranker.
Yeah, cranker, for sure.
I'm one click, knowing there's still one more click to go. In case
Okay,
I'm scared.
How about Jason?
That's where I'm at. Like, not crazy tight, but I always, if I'm going to hit something that's a little scary, I want to be able to just get a little bit extra.
Got you. Okay, how about just your toe?
Never really put much thought into it. Kind of.
I try to crank that thing.
Yeah.
Crank the toe.
Crank. Yeah.
Snug. I don't want to feel it. I don't even want to know it's there, but it needs to, keep that.
Yeah,
keep it in place.
That's where I'm like, tight enough, but I don't want, like, I'll be fine with the pressure point on my ankle, but I hate pressure points on my toes. So
if I took the time to like adjust them, maybe I could get them tighter. But
I actually do that though. I used to really make sure that the binding was like about as quick as it could go from the ankle strap to the toe straps. I would make it like so it wasn't hard to get the male and female end in together, but it was like we're not using a lot of plastic through those ratchets. It was like, okay, this thing's barely holding. So basically, I don't really touch my toe straps. I don't need them to be tight, and my ankle strap I leave relatively loose, to be honest. But I also wear a Team 2, and it's like a stiffer boot. So I prefer the bindings to be like, so if you leave your binding straps loose, that's when you get a lot of those squeaking noises in your bindings. And I have a lot of noises because they're not super ratcheted down.
Makes sense. Sidebar, I remember back in the day in the drop-in ramp era, this guy had the quickest ratchets east of the Mississippi. I'm telling you ever seen Scott strap in? It was just like, boom.
You beat Sexton.
We should see him with these bindings now.
And if somebody was slow ratchets in front of him, like there's some people that are just click, click, click. It's a quick way to get under Scott's, get under his skin.
Well, I've been doing a lot of anger management and practice. No, I will say though, I am faster with these phase bindings, and you could also say, like you said, well, a few seconds, what's the big deal? And that's a great argument. But yeah, I've adjusted, and I like these bindings. They're a great flex for me, and it's fun. Me and High Def Jeff were saying, hey, it's actually like fun getting off the lift because it's a skill you can adapt and get better at. And I'd say I'm pretty good at it now. I just put my foot in, click it down, few clicks, I'm out. But on the fly, I have been trying to do 1 foot tricks into to like a 720 or what, and that's a fun evolution where it's like I couldn't do that with two adjustments on the fly into like a 30-foot, 40-foot kicker, So
I have a superficial question about these bindings, if you don't mind. I love all the content you guys have been putting out. I think it's so sick. This is amazing. It's very entertaining. But okay, like talk to me about what's the parking lot vibe on these bindings. Like, how the high back kind of kicks back in like laid back mode. When I'm grabbing my board and I'm going to walk across the parking lot, what's up with this high back? Is it jabbing me? Is this jabbing me? Is it going? Can you put it forward? Because
you can put it forward.
I'm not talking about strapping in. I'm not talking about. I just want to know, like, hey, how am I gonna feel and look when I'm walking across the parking lot?
Hold on 1 second, Dad. I'm on the phone. Well, here's my thing: is I was at Mammoth, and I saw Blum had them, and I looked at how Blum ran them because Blum's actually, from my conversations about bindings with him, he's very in tune with gear. He's like, and when I saw Blum with him, I'm like, that was a big changing point for me. He had the high backs flicked down always, so they're not, running diagonal out. And I tend to flick them down too because I saw Blum doing that, and I think Fava does it too. And that problem is eliminated. So like,
so you can put it forward, like all the way forward.
You can put it all the way forward. Yeah,
sick.
So it's flat on the butt. Yeah, because like if I was doing like some type of kickflip trick, you don't want that binding like out in that position where it's diagonal, so you can put your toe in the binding.
Yeah, right? I'm getting to the bottom of it.
So,
go ahead.
That was a concern for me though, Seth, at first, until I realized that was a way to do that.
For sure. No, it's all part of it. So
okay, I got another. Go ahead.
You shoot. Oh, I got one more. Yeah.
Go ahead. Before I'm going to change gears completely after this. So
no, I love it. No, for me, one thing that was absolutely like vital to this is being able to wear my traditional Team 2 32 boot with it. Like just to, because if I had to change boots completely, that would have been too much on my mind. So that was a gigantic plus for me with freestyle aspect of snowboarding to be able to still wear the same boots.
Great stuff. I'm going to change gears. We got a giveaway from Smith here. So basically, we're doing the Smith Rodeo giveaway. And what we're going to do is all of the listeners or people that are watching on YouTube, go comment on this YouTube.
1 second.
Ma, the meatloaf. So go comment on the YouTube and comment your favorite backside rodeo. I almost want to say backside rodeo 540. Favorite backside rodeo 540 of all time. Do you think it's up? It's up to us. Could it be any rodeo or 540? Scott, you choose. You're the Smith rider here.
Shoots. I mean, man, I was a big front rodeo guy back in the day. So I mean, it's hard to just be like only backside. But
okay.
It's rodeo helmet. It's not the backside rodeo helmet.
All right. Okay, there it is. That's a good point, Scott. It's the rodeo.
And a rodeo flip is traditionally a 540.
I don't mean to be controlling over here.
No, it's a good point I overlooked. So any rodeo, your favorite rodeo clip of all time, we're gonna scrub through the comments, and whatever one hits our stuff, I'm gonna be like, damn, I forgot about that rodeo. That's a good one. And we're gonna send you a Smith rodeo helmet. So that's what we got going on. And you ride Smith stuff, right, Scott?
Yep. Yeah. I rode the rodeo helmet all summer, and then I have it with me on most trips in case I get spooked, and because I don't traditionally wear a helmet all the time. But if a rail is scary enough for me, fucking, I'm gonna put on a helmet. And the rodeo is a dope sleek helmet.
What about the goggles? What do you run? The Squad?
Yeah, I'm a Squad XL guy. Yeah, I prefer the XL, but I can run a normal one or a mag. So.
Yeah, the one thing I've been checking out the goggles. I love how the lenses change really easy. That's a huge thing for me. Not wrestling around with lenses.
Yeah, these things are insane. I mean, man, my Smith packages that I get, and I've been on Smith it's going to be 20 years. It's probably 20 years right now. But one thing is they send me such high-end eyewear too, and goggles. And I get some of these sunglasses, and I look at the price tag on the box. I'm like, holy shit, these are $300. These are $250. So I'm kind of spoiled with optics.
Well, the good news is if you want to get some Smith product, you can head on over to smithoptics.com, and we have a special promotion going. If you use promo code BOMBHOLE15, it'll take 15% off your first purchase at smithoptics.com. Again, that's BOMBHOLE15, save 15%. And you could be looking like Scott Stevens out there. You know what I mean? Looking clean.
Those Squads, man, they really are great, though. They're like it's just such a nice profile of goggle that it's going to be around for a long time. And it's already been around for quite a while as is.
Well, Stevens, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. How do you feel?
You as well, dude. Yeah. It's always a whirlwind when I come on because I just
The meat.
don't. I have no clue what comes out of my mouth. Yeah, it's my parents out here in Massachusetts, and then other times it's my daughters. So. But yeah, it's great to talk to you guys and Seth as well. It was fun reminiscing about that Volcom trip from 2011 because I remember that so well. Seth brought us to the Jeremy and the JP and Seth to their locker, like their
Storage
unit.
Yeah.
And I always feel super grateful that I saw that,
Sick. Dogger. It was originally Doggers, but yeah, we were all in on that. That thing had just anything you could imagine to get a clip was in that thing. A lot of Home Depot trips.
You guys were so savvy. It was incredible. Like honestly, how you guys pushed. I can't even believe we're in 2025 now, but like from the mid 2000s, early 2000s to the mid 2000s, you guys just set the tone, man.
It was like a whatever it takes mentality. It just didn't. There was nothing in the way. Like, oh, you need a bowl cutter. Oh, you need a new drop-in ramp. Oh, you need a winch. Oh, you need a dolly cam with like workout weights to hold it down. I don't know. There was so much crap in there. I think Dogger's red puffy coat is probably still in there somewhere.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'll take that thing.
Yeah, he's got to weather the -30 film sessions and without complaining, and got to do what it takes.
Oh yeah.
All right,
well,
Steve-O. Well, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Cut me out and tell Joey and Jay Stone. I
They
look
can hear
forward
you.
to
We're on here.
seeing them. I look forward to seeing all you guys at Brighton. Hopefully this spring.
Yeah, let's board.
Get out here.
All right, Steve-O. Thanks for
Yeah,
calling in,
Steven.
brother. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
I'll talk to you
All right.
later.
Later.
Wow, that was fantastic.
That was amazing.
Great catch up with Stevens. Whirlwind. I think he summed it up well.
Yeah.
Whirlwind. Covered a lot of ground. All right, we're going to talk about Herschel Outdoor Equipment. You may have seen them. We give them to all of our guests that win Name That Video part. Pack them full of bomb hole merch. They are sleek, and they're introducing a brand new performance line for travel and the outdoors. They got Alpine inspired and designed with multi-functionality for the first chair or last minute flight. I personally use all Herschel gear when I travel. I use the roller bag. I use the big roller bag. They got great backpacks. And the one thing I like, you can take your backpack and slide it over your roller bag, and you can be a true pro traveler. All their stuff's really well made, and they're building a team. They got Arthur Longo and the Dust Box on board already. So if you're interested in getting some sleek new travel gear, check out Herschel.com.
If you love sending it in the Eastern Sierras, whether it's snowboarding, climbing, biking, or any of the countless ways to get after it, you know that keeping your body strong is key to staying out there longer and doing what you love. That's why there's a gym called Paradox Fitness, a 24-hour gym in Bishop, California, designed for people who live to enjoy the outdoors. Whether you're up at dawn for first tracks or squeezing in a late night session after a long day in the mountains, you get 24/7 access right from your smart device. The founder is a snowboarder herself, and she knows firsthand staying strong off the mountain makes all the difference on the mountain. No one wants to be the person sitting on the couch watching instead of riding. So if you want to keep sending it all season long, go check out Paradox Fitness in Bishop, California. Get stronger, ride longer, and keep doing what you love. Sign up today to get instant access. No waiting, no hassle, just training on your schedule. Plus, our listeners can get 50% off a day pass when they use the QR code on the Bombhole website to sign up.
All right, we got T-Bird, a.k.a. Tom Monterosso. He was on the broadcast for Snow League. He was in the booth with Todd Harris, Tina Dixon, Jack Collinsworth. Birdman, how was the broadcast? How you feeling after this weekend?
Yeah, buddy. I'm landed late last night back in Portland, Oregon, and dude, what a trip that was. It was really fun. I had a really good time. I do have to say, on a personal note, super fucking awesome to announce something with you for the first time. I really enjoyed working with you, and the whole broadcast team was great. Todd Harris was cracking me up. He's just a ball of energy. Naoko, our one of your sideline reporter that was up there with you. She is just fucking awesome. She was so fun to work with. And then, of course, Jack Collinsworth, our dear friend, legend in the making in the snowboard space, and Tina Dixon. I'd worked with Todd and Tina before. I'd never worked with Jack. And dude, I was really impressed. Like Jack coming in as, I guess, quote unquote, an outsider, right? He comes from traditional football. You could tell he was a little nervous, but I think on like day one, he kind of realized he's like, these guys are just here to have some fun, right? And he just had fun with it, and he studied and he learned, and he was awesome as a host.
Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah, for those who didn't watch, I was just sidelined, so I only had a few throws, and then Jack Collinsworth does, I believe, Sunday Night Football pre and post game. So for us football nerds, it was pretty fun to be calling with a legend there. But I want to ask, this is the first event of Snow League, this new event series, big news in snowboarding. How do you feel like it went overall as far as a contest?
I think, honestly, it went really, really well. I mean, the format, nobody had done that format in a half-pipe contest before. So I think it was new to everyone from the broadcast team to the behind-the-scenes camera people, the producers at NBC and Peacock and Uncle Toads, and the riders, right? Like, no one really knew exactly how it was going to play out. And there were little hiccups here and there because it was the first time ever broadcasting a head-to-head half-pipe contest. But all in all, I think it was great. If I can speak frankly, I kind of think day one could be tightened up a little bit, but I think day two was epic with that head-to-head final.
Yeah, I agree. Day one felt slow, but by the time the head-to-head final got, one thing that I thought was really interesting about this is that the riders had, it was best 2 out of 3 head-to-head, and you had to drop in from both sides of the wall. So you really, truly got to see who had a diverse bag of tricks and who had a deep bag. And some people just do the same half-pipe run day in, day out. They just rehearse their run that they always do. So you kind of got to see, how people were able to piece these runs together. That was kind of my favorite part. I think that was the coolest part of the format. I think head-to-head is actually freaking sweet. I thought that was a success. The one thing I did hear was that Ayumu, he just said, man, so much riding. Like, I think those guys were gassed. And for the athletes to have to do, triple cork a bunch of times, I think every time you try that trick, you're rolling the dice. So
yeah, exactly. Because if you look at, a traditional contest like X Games, Ayumu isn't pulling out the triple cork until the finals. But with this new format, he was forced to pull it out in round 1 of the finals day, in quarterfinals. So he's doing like 4 times, 5 times the amount of triple corks that he would do in a traditional contest, because he would go with, his qualifying run and then his semifinals run, and then finals, he'd maybe do that run with the triple cork like 2 times. Whereas I think he did it 5 or 6 times on finals day in order to try to like advance and beat his first round draw.
Yep, that's facts. As far as highlights, weekend highlights, what do you got?
Dude, 2 names come to mind in the men's field, and they're probably not like the biggest names you would think of, but Cam Melville Ives and Alessandro Barbieri. Like, those kids are fucking electric city. I love them. I'm so down. I really wasn't super familiar with their riding. I haven't been keeping as keen an eye on halfpipe as I used to when I was calling a lot of the Burton Global Open Series. But these kids, to me, kind of came out of nowhere. And not only did they ride super well, they were so good with the media. Like, they weren't nervous, they weren't shy. The camera was on them, and they were just like being themselves, being personable. And then on the women's side, there was so much pressure on Maddie Mastro, and it was cool to hear her on the broadcast just consistently saying, like, this is just snowboarding, it's not that fun. And I know she's a competitor, she doesn't necessarily always feel that way because she wants to win, but it was her kind of reminding herself that, like, just go out there and like trust yourself and do what you got to do. And she didn't end up winning, but she put on a hell of a show.
I couldn't agree more. And one thing I didn't know about Maddie is she's like a little spider monkey. When she's going for practice, she's like fired up. You know, I was doing a throw at the top of the pipe. They wanted me to talk about the progression of pipe, so I'm talking about airbags and all this stuff in the middle of it on, you know, live TV, and I'm in her way, and she's basically just like, get the frig out of my way. Like, get out of here. I'm trying to get ready for this contest. This dipshit TV guy's in the way. And like, you know, she ollied over the helmet. And that was, you know, obviously kind of a highlight where a civilian, just a fan, was on the deck. They dropped their helmet. It went down into the middle of the half pipe. She landed her last hit front five, and her line was directly going towards the helmet, and she had to ollie the helmet mid-run, and she was not happy about that. And I just like that she brings that like kind of intensity, that fuck you energy. I love to see it.
Yeah, it was really awesome. She thought it was a drone when she came down. She's like, I thought it was a drone that fell out of the sky. And I feel for that fan, because I think we've all been in that situation where like something accidental happens and like all eyes are on you. I'm glad they didn't pan up to whoever that was, because they were probably super embarrassed.
Straight up. A couple other names that came to mind, like obviously Cam that you mentioned, Melville Ives. He did that double back rodeo, middle of the run, landed with tons of speed, carried about 60 feet down the pipe. That trick was a highlight for me. And then Yuto dropping in to switch alley-oop back rodeo. Like, if that's not good for pipe, if that's not good for pipe riding, if that's not bringing style into pipe, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and the fact that he had that run, or he had that trick in his run, and he ended up winning. A lot of times it comes down to like who does the most doubles and triples and how technical your run can be. It does kind of become like a little bit of a spin to win. It was refreshing to see, Yuto throw that in a run that got him up in the top three. You know, it was really cool.
Yeah, and then the one showdown that could have been the final was first round of finals bracket head-to-head was Lil Kitaki versus Ayumu. And Taki drops in massive front triple, cab 14. I don't remember the rest of his run. And he fell on a double crippler last hit, but he was the first one to put a triple down in that finals day. And it was a shame he didn't land, because that was a final in itself, that first bracket.
Well, and that's initially what put Ayumu up against the ropes, right? Is we were all sitting there being like, you know, how's it going to go down? Is Ayumu going to have to pull out the triple cork? And all of a sudden, Lil Kitaki drops in, and you're like, holy crap! That Ayumu has to do his number one run, and he's going to have to keep doing it for the rest of the afternoon. I mean, he still had like 2.5 hours of riding to go. But what I ultimately thought about it is like, you know, am I the Aspen type? No, I don't think so. You know, like I haven't been there a ton. It's a different world. But what I thought was super cool about it was they kept telling us, like, call them athletes, don't call them riders. Let's put them on a pedestal. And it did that. Like, there's no reason why professional snowboarders who are elite athletes and putting their body on the line should really be that much different in this genre of snowboarding from like an NBA athlete or an NFL athlete. Like, you can get extremely injured snowboarding, and maybe even more so than professional basketball or the NFL. And I think it gave them their due. It put them high up on a pedestal and told like a more mainstream audience that like, these aren't just like some, you know, counterculture little kids that are making TikTok and YouTube videos and going against the grain. Like, these are elite level athletes doing really, really crazy stuff. I thought that was really cool, you know, coming out of the event and getting a little decompression time on the plane last night.
Yeah, 100% too. And I've definitely, you know, on this show, I've given Sean a hard time too for, you know, we like our snowboarders to be a certain way. We like them to give back to the culture and do things and be immersed in the community and all these things. But really, if you think about what Sean did there, that I have to commend him for, is that he used his name is bigger than any name ever in snowboarding times 10, you know. And if anybody knows snowboarding, they know Sean White, and he was able to use his name and everything he's done in snowboarding to get these riders paid and get them on a big platform. And anybody who's helping snowboarders get paid and, you know, give him a place to flourish, like he's doing it, you know? So I definitely ate my words and am really like stoked on, really excited about Sean for doing this and taking a risk and betting on snowboarding and giving back to the culture and the community and everything.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to mention. You know, I was a member of the media for a long time. And when Sean was at the top of his game, people were like, oh, he never gives back to snowboarding. He doesn't do this. And it kind of dawned on me that when Sean was at the pinnacle for, 15, almost 20 years, like how would he have had time to give back? Like he couldn't have hosted his own event when he was winning every World Cup and every Olympic qualifier and every X Games and every fucking Dew Tour. Like there just wasn't time. And I think what I kind of realized was now that he's retired, he does have that time and he's built up the equity, the brand equity in the name Sean White. And this is his way of giving back, like Mikey LeBlanc started Kids Know. That was his way of giving back. Sean White held a world-class mainstream snowboard event competition in Aspen, Colorado. That's his way of giving back. Both of those things are really cool. Totally. Right? And they can be really cool for different genres and different disciplines of snowboarding. And so I got to tip my hat to Sean for pulling this thing off, because people also don't remember, like they really haven't even been working on this thing for a year yet. They put that thing together in like 7 months. And for the production value and all the accoutrements that came along with the contest and how they treated the athletes, nothing but respect for that. That was a crazy endeavor that they pulled off.
Straight up. Yeah. Well said. Well said. And another thing, going back to the riders too, is like, and dude, everyone from, us putting some money in our pockets, being on the broadcast team, that's, I'm super thankful for that. And then the riders getting money in their pockets, they all got show up fees, like you show up to a FIS event to qualify for the Olympics, you ain't getting a show up fee. They all got, they got a few $1,000s just to show up. And that's fucking beautiful. Yeah,
it's incredible. Let me ask you this, like that was my first like true NBC gig, where you're like live on Peacock and all that. I was a little nervous. Were you a little nervous going into it?
I was nervous. Yeah. I mean, I was just sideline, but when you're sideline reporting, I've never done it before. You're just standing by yourself. There's loud music playing and you just have the earpiece in, and the producer every once in a while is just, give us a conditions report. And then you got to like run up and you're like, the half pipe's heating up and it's getting slushy and it's going to slow down. When like, why is it going to slow down? Well, because their edges are digging in, and like, cause you're talking to NBC, right? So I'm not talking to the bomb hole audience. I got to dumb things down so that a viewer can understand that isn't our snowboard community. So for me, it did feel as a little bit like I wasn't being myself because I was like nervous, and there was, we were very particular about calling the riders athletes, which is for us.
Yeah.
We always, you've probably called them riders a million times. So it was a learning experience for me. I have a lot of respect for sideline reporters. I was like Pam Oliver out there, just side of the football field, giving some analysis. But my
and that's.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Continue on.
No. My lift was relatively low, very low compared to you had to carry the whole show.
Yeah. And that's something that, and I see a little bit of hate from time to time, and I'm totally cool with it. I understand people are like, oh, you don't need to say that they're grabbing their toe edge with their lead hand. But what people need to know is it's not that I'm not talking to snowboarders. It's the goal of this is to like introduce a new audience. And so when you say, frontside double cork 1080, Weddle or tail, they don't necessarily know what you're talking about. So you do really have to break it down to like, this is what that means. That graphic you're seeing on the screen, this is what their body's doing to make us say these words, And the other thing too is like, watching like Jack Collinsworth and Todd Harris and Tina Dixon, those like, they're very classically trained announcers. I don't think people understand how hard it is to be wearing a headset. You're listening to someone else talk in your headset. So like Jack or Tina or Todd, while a producer on top of them talking is telling you what they want you to talk about next. And then it comes to you, you have to get those words out. And while you're getting those words out, you're listening to the producer saying something to Tina or to Todd or to Jack about what they're going to say next. So like, it is a really tough thing to do, to like not lose your composure and to keep your cool and get coherent sentences out while there's like 2 or 3 other conversations coming into your ear at the exact same time, you know?
Well said. Yeah, there's an art form to it, and it's a skill, and those guys have mastered the craft. And you did a freaking damn good job. I could hear you in my ear all day, Bird. You sounded great.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for covering. I think we talked Snow League. I'd say success. Halfpipe is in a good place. Really, people that haven't watched the Halfpipe contest live, I couldn't recommend it enough. It is very exciting to watch. Would you say?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna kind of sign off with. Is like, it's one thing to watch it on a monitor on TV. I'm telling you, if anybody listening ever has the chance to go to slope style, big air, or half pipe and like see it with your own eyes, it is, I guarantee you, it looks 5 times as impressive in real life as it does on TV. If you can't make it in real life, definitely tune into the broadcast because we want more eyes on snowboarding. But if you get to see it in real life, it is crazy.
One last thing, talk about the pre. Did they air our pre-run? I never even saw the show.
You know what? I haven't watched it. I did hear that there was some snafu with the sound. So they did do our pre-run, but I think for the world feed, they didn't have sound. On Peacock, they did have sound. Because I got a couple texts of people that were watching the world feed, and they're like, why is there no sound? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, like, we're about to go live. I have no clue. But I will say the pre-run had me more nervous than anything we did that week when they had you and I explaining the rules of how the athletes had to drop in from each wall. And then they actually had you and me drop in. And I remember thinking like, man, I hope they don't show my like a full run of me just riding down the middle of this pipe.
Dude, I gotta say, for anybody, I don't know if it made the show or not, so I don't know. The listeners will have to tell me. But we basically, they were like, we want you to drop in at the beginning of the contest to show the size of the pipe, and we're gonna follow you with the drone down the pipe. So I'm like, fuck, I got one practice run, and then I launched a crippler first hit, and I was so excited to go drop in, launch a crippler, at least show that like I can tread water in this half pipe, you know? And then when it came time for the throw, they're like, we originally dropped our microphones and then they're like, you can't drop your microphone. No tricks are allowed. You have to ride with your microphone. You can't drop it and you're not allowed to do tricks. That's what they told us in the broadcast. So I was so bummed because I was like, it was like a Eminem 8 Mile, you know, mom spaghetti moment. I got to drop in on the broadcast and I was going to do a crippler, which I had done in practice. But it didn't end up working.
Well,
out.
and the craziest part for me is like you dropped in and did that, and then you went down to the bottom, and that was your post. I had to drop in, ride down to the bottom, wait for Connor to finish his little thing because this was all pre-taped, and then I had to ride down to the broadcast booth. I had about 30 minutes, but you're in the headspace of like, I'm riding a 22-foot half pipe. Now I have to go down to the broadcast booth, change into my booth stuff, and then put on headsets and like go live to the world. So it was definitely like an emotional roller coaster for me of like trying to navigate different headspaces of like where I needed to be, you know?
Straight up. Well, you killed it, Bird. Cool. We're going to continue on with group chat, but thanks for taking the time to call in. We appreciate you, brother.
Awesome, buddy. Mad love. It was great to catch up with you and spend so much time with you. And hopefully we get to do it again soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
All right. Later, brother.
See ya. Okay, people, we're going to talk to you about Goodr. We're talking sunglasses, Sunny G's. Cheap, affordable, high-quality sunglasses, starting at only $25 a pair. You got a 1-year warranty and 30-day return policy. Who wants to spend $200 on a pair of sunglasses when you can spend $25? You get a whole bunch of them and lose them and still have 5 extras. That's what I like about it. They're lightweight and comfortable, 100% polarized, no slip, no bounce. They got all different types of styles and colors. They got speed shades. They got OGs. Lots of sleek looks on there. And they're designed for everyday use or if you want to get sporty. Grab some Goodrs. I like to wear mine when I'm splitboarding on the skin trail, you know, eating some granola, throw on the sunnies, you're feeling good. And because they're affordable, and if you're like me, you can lose them and just buy another pair. You don't feel bad about it. If you need a pair of sunnies, Goodr is giving Bombhole listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/bombhole and use promo code bombhole for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/bombhole and use promo code bombhole for free shipping. All right, people. We're talking nicotine pouches right now. We're talking Lucy Breakers. They're 100% nicotine, no tobacco. And they got a little nug in there, a little capsule. You pop it, it's a bit of a flavor blast. I quite enjoy it. They also have a subscription plan if you just want nicotine pouches delivered right to your front door. Easy peasy. I personally like the berry citrus flavor. I go 8 milligrams on them. And I love them with a cup of coffee in the morning. I hate to say it. I love to hammer these things. So check out lucy.co and use promo code BOMBHOLE and you'll get 20% off your order. They got a 30-day refund policy if you don't like it. Again, that's lucy.co, promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order. And also, one thing to know is that Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. Every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. We're going to get into product talk here, what everybody wants to hear about. And when it comes to product talk, we have Joey Fava here. So he can get to the bottom of a lot of our questions. The first one, not Jay Stone, Joey. Joey, this is from Trace and Allen. Shout out to the Brighton Park crew. Those guys are incredible. Joey, how long were you wearing a size 12? And how do you find out that you're actually a size 10?
God damn it. He hit me up. He's like, I'm going to ask this question. I was like, oh no. One day I was at the park with my homie, and dude, I just like always started wearing like size 12. I just started ordering them, thought they fit, whatever. And then one day we're at the park, high as shit, just fucking chilling, laying on the grass or whatever, bullshitting. And he just like grabs my foot and he just starts to like bend my toe, and he just like looks over at me and he was like, what the fuck or whatever. Then I just start busting up laughing, dude. He was like, where the hell's your toe, dude? And then after I like downsized probably to a size 10 and was able to learn like 50-50 skateboarding and fill my skateboard actually.
Was it like like when you're a little kid, your parents are just like, got to go 2 sizes up, got to last for a while. And then you just kept it going?
I think so, dude. Or I just started ordering 12s, and then that's what I ordered for so long. And then like started downsizing a little bit more and more. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but...
I love it. Earlier you were talking about to sink our teeth into product talk, getting the right size for the right consumer. Maybe you could just tee off on this, Jay Stone.
Yeah, for sure. And this is, I would say not so much on like the beginner level of things, but more like you've been snowboarding for a couple years, and like as people are progressing, it seems to me that they get like in between sizes, and like I think we're all super fortunate that we get to ride like one model in multiple sizes, kind of depending on the conditions. Or like if you're going to go hit like a really techie street spot, you might ride a short board, and then Brighton, you're going to ride a little bit bigger board. And what I keep finding is a lot of people get stuck between like, oh, do I get a 57 or do I go with the 60? And, like we talked about earlier in the show, identifying the type of board that you want to get, or like the type of riding you want to do, whether that's all mountain riding or park riding. And then really like, so if you are in between sizes, look at and like take an honest look at your skill level, I think is a big one. Where, so like say you're a more intermediate rider and you're looking at a board, the smaller size is probably more ideal for you. Like where you've talked in the past, you've been riding like a 64 wide Navigator in POW. So like that's a big board for you.
Not a wide, but it's a 64.
Oh, it's a 64. Yeah. So that's a big board for you, but because of your skill and that board's not crazy stiff, you're able to size up because you want it to float well in POW. And so that's where I try to talk through with people like, okay, if you are a little bit of a harder charger, you're more advanced skill-wise, you can probably jump up to that bigger size, and it's going to benefit you and be more stable, but know that you're going to sacrifice like maneuverability and the ability to spin. So that's like one thing I get so many questions on. Like people are so like I don't know what size to get. And you like, okay, if you ride a steeper mountain, probably want a bigger board. If you're like more East Coast style, a smaller board for like tighter Vermont style trees, that's going to really benefit you. And then a width thing, that's a huge one. Like, so like what size foot are you?
9.
And then we're both 10s. And
Was it 12?
Yeah, or 12. Yeah, depending on the day, depending on the year. And people get super hung up on like, oh, I need a wide board or I don't need a wide board. And I think like for a traditional width around like a size 11 is the cutoff. But also, you know, you can have a small foot and buy a wide board if like carving is your thing. Or if you want the board to ride bigger, you can downsize a hair and go with a wider board. But no, you're going to sacrifice maneuverability or edge to edge, it's going to be slower. So that's, hopefully that can.
I think width is probably more important than length.
Yeah.
Like you can get used to like a like a 160 to like 157. Like, yeah, you're going to notice a little bit, but like width is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dumb and Dumber over here. Really amused by that. All right, I'm going to keep things moving here. Chad Hansen has a great question. Board boot binding tech. This is for everybody. You get to keep one modern. The rest is 2003 tech. What's your kit? So you can keep one modern out of board boot binding. The rest have to be from 03. I think I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go board. And then I'm going to take some old freaking Drake bindings and, I don't know, some old boots, and I'm going to ride a new board. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. 100%. Those old boards, like watching like old like footage of all you guys, dude, like you get onto a handrail wrong and you just die. Like, or you like try, like cab 5 hook on the lip and you're just like, there's no saving yourself.
Stiff, camber, narrow, like plank.
Dude.
Try pressing.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know how much film, 16 millimeter film or slide film I've wasted trying to press and someone's trying to film me? Like, no, bro. And then all of a sudden you get on a softboard, you're like, yo, I got a second try. It was sick.
Because didn't you guys used to take like skill saws and cut your top sheets to make them press more?
Yeah,
I
actually did that. I would just do a countersink drill bit and just drill like holes, not all the way through the top sheet, but just into the core or like around the front edges of my bindings. JP, I first time I ever saw him, he had nubbed board with Dremel across the bindings to make it press. Jeremy, I'm sure he's done it all too. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a full blown thing. You had to modify all of your gear to make it work. And now it's out of the plastic. You're just like 5.0 lifted, no question.
So what's your choice here on board boot binding?
New board, new boot, and then I'm riding that Mikey LeBlanc binding.
You only have one option.
One new. Okay, new board. I'll ride the old Apex and the Drake. Let Mikey LeBlanc.
Joey,
I'll say new board.
All right, we're all going with board tech. Yeah. Good answer. Okay, this is a great question too from Nahuan.de. How much does board stiffness change over time? Are materials / boards affected more? Are different materials boards affected more? J-Stone, we're going to let you field this. And actually, you know what? Joey, you field this first.
I feel like out of the plastic, they definitely are a little stiffer. And then the more you ride, I feel like they do get softer and softer. And even just being on a trip with Scott, we were just talking about it. And he's like, this one's just so much softer now. And like, I definitely think it has an effect and out of the plastic compared to a couple months in of riding. Yeah.
Great. Agree.
Oh, yeah, for ssure. And a lot of the Capita boards, they use like more Polonia. So like lighter weight types of wood makes the board super light.
Yeah, I know all about that stuff.
Yeah. Polonia specialist, actually. Yeah. He's actually in the factory.
Bit of an arborist guy.
Measuring the Plutonia
the plutonium moisture content over there.
He's got a lab coat on. He's just doing all the tests.
Yep.
This one's good.
This one's ready for production.
This one's good.
Good to go. But so different types of wood break down faster. So that's like when we're choosing, like depending on the price point of the board, if you use certain woods in lower price point boards, they will get softer faster. but more expensive woods that hold their flex longer will put into higher end boards. And that's also a big reason we add carbon into boards too. And I think a lot of people are like so focused on like, oh, you add carbon to a board and it increases the pop, which it does, but carbon doesn't break down as much over time.
And those are stringers, right?
Yeah, so they can do stringers. You can do full sheets of carbon, depending. Like the Capita Megadeth, you can see like it's a full layer of carbon through the whole thing. And what's great about carbon is it doesn't break down as much over time. So your board flex is going to stay more true through the life of the board. And that's like when you are paying more money for a board with carbon, you're getting more life out of it, which is really sick.
He's dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
Seth, would you like to go?
I got a wormhole, boys. You ready?
Yeah, let's
Are
go.
you ready to dive into the wormhole?
Yes.
Okay, I brought the twig. All
Hockey stick for the listeners.
You always got to have the twig with you no matter what, but for a reason. Okay, so and we're gonna take a deep dive, Jay Stone. I don't get the opportunity much to go this deep, but we're gonna. Okay, so when I started playing hockey way back and forever ago, wood stick, right?
Yep. Sherwood, baby.
Yeah, Sherwood,
Feather
wood
light.
stick, wood shaft, and then in order to hold the blade on and create the curve, you run the they had like a fiberglass net, almost
fiberglass
like
sock,
yeah, almost the same way as a snowboard, and that would hold the curve and the rigidity and the stiffness. Those boards are heavy. Our boards, sorry, those sticks were like a little bit heavier than they are now traditionally, and they flexed, and you could probably get different stiffness of a flex. And as the technology of a hockey stick progressed, and I don't know it all, but I do know that it started to go with like a wood core. They'd run fiberglass on the outside because people are breaking sticks, right? And then of course it went down the whole aluminum road, and then now where we're at is this carbon stick, right? And they're pretty much one piece or they're two piece, just depending on there's not really there is a true one piece, but most traditional sticks are two piece. But anyways, when I started getting into snowboarding, there was a thing that was like foam core, right? There was some snowboards that were coming out like foam core, like
Morrow was huge with that.
Yeah, Morrow. Okay, there were some brands like because I want to say my friend had an Avalanche and he snapped it and they refunded him, because it was a foam core, and then. When I started, and then there was this big marketing thing. It was like, no, wood core. And then it was like wood core wall to wall with the cap, like, so tip to tail, because they were doing like plastic or whatever material for the curve of the tip. And it was just the running length was wood. So there's been like this battle in snowboarding, I guess, that's been going on for a few decades that was just like about wood and core. And then I think Solomon did some foam core stuff right when they started. Fact check that, I don't know, but I want to say.
For sure.
And then when I rode for Airwalk, they made this board called the A1, and it had, I don't know if it was foam, but I think they said composite.
Yeah.
And that's what, these hockey sticks are, is composite.
Yep.
And the technology in sticks is crazy, because you can get like a wood stick for like $25, right? Yep. And then these things like go up, this is like a mid-range, like $200 stick, but you can get a stick for $500.
Oh yeah.
Do you need one? I don't know. Yeah. But they have different flex points, whether it's low kick or it's mid kick, different stiffness, and they're light as hell. Like, feel that thing. That's like,
it's like air.
It's nothing.
Crazy. There's nothing to it.
Right. And I guess kind of where I'm going with this is like, I know wood is great and skateboarding, and even Creature is starting. I think it might be more brands than just Creature, but they are starting like one of the plies is like carbon, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a thinner board, it retains its pop more. Do you think, and in your eyes of like being an engineer, is this something that snowboarding could look at? Like, because I'm all about wood, but if you're building a board for durability and something that's going to last longer, is like a composite. Is that core? Could it be lighter? Could it be, something that is more durable? Will that last longer than wood? Because wood, dude, it gets soggy.
For sure.
No matter what. And these sticks they're pretty much the same. Like they'll get a little bit, as it breaks down and you're taking clappers, like they'll get softer over time. But I don't know. Is that something that snowboarding has kind of like it? I know we were diving in that direction back in the early 2000s, 90s, whatever, and then it went back to wood because of a marketing thing. Do you think it will come back to being composite? Have you ever messed with anything like that?
Yeah. There's a lot there. So I would say, I think So snowboarding started, we did wood cores, all of that. And then there was this era where sort of technology was catching up, new manufacturing processes were catching up. And a lot of like the aerospace world is foam core. And they're obviously like snowboards are kind of crazy in the sense that they twist, flex, like they do all these things. Like it's a very dynamic piece of equipment versus like, say like a nose cone of an airplane. It just like sits there, right? Obviously there's some science that goes into that, but I don't think the foam cores were quite ready for snowboarding at that time. And that's why all the boards were just exploding, like snapping in half, everything like that. Now we're coming back to it where ideally foam is the answer in the future. And because wood, like if you chop down two trees right next to each other and you check the hardness, moisture content, all that, they're going to be completely different. So then when we cut all of our cores, we have to quality control them and batch them by moisture and stiffness and all of this. And why we haven't gone all the way to foam yet is because we can't replicate the wood. Like wood is an insane material. Like however nature has been able to figure that out, we can't replicate it in the way. And what's called the modulus is basically it's the material property stiffness. We can't replicate that with a foam in the same way with like how wood has grain running all the way through it. So we're getting there. New manufacturing processes are helping create new foams that can hopefully replace wood. Because then for the manufacturing side of things, we have to do so much quality control throughout to get your flex of your snowboard to be consistent, 5,000 boards in a row. If we had a foam, no questions asked, it would be the exact same flex every single time. So we're getting there for sure. It's just like anything, you want to test it and test it and test it. And yeah, as new industries are coming up and developing new things, there's a lot of opportunity for that. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, there's a reason we use wood, and it's because it's just like, it's almost impossible to replicate. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, especially for what we're doing, like you need a board to be able to flex like crazy, handle chatter, damp. Not just, damp enough, but like still have pop, and it's nuts.
Yeah, they even dropped this.
Joey's just looking at me. I'll say this guy's fucking good though. I'm not gonna lie. He's
insane.
good. He knows his shit.
I should probably read that spec sheet on my board if I learned something.
Just ask me. We'll take the lift up together and you can ask.
Yeah, I'm just curious too, because TCM, they just dropped this new hockey stick. It's just ungodly expensive, but it's got like a layer composite, then a super thin layer of aluminum, then a layer composite, then a super thin layer of aluminum, and another layer of composite. So it's kind of in like, it's crazy technical of like what they're putting into these things. And
the stick again?
Yeah, and then, and how, because it's all about the flex.
Yeah.
It's all about like, that controls your shot, that controls your puck feel, everything. And with snowboarding, it's dude, a board for me is all flex.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Torsionally, and then tip and tail, center flex. Like you got a crappy board, you're not landing, or you're not getting that press,
or you don't have the confidence,
or you don't have the confidence. You can't turn right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a big question that I've had. I know I've had a couple conversations with some people, and they're like, oh, we'll never replace wood. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I'm all about wood, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe there's something more there that could be lighter, stronger, damper.
No, and I mean, I know there's a lot of like OG core snowboarders that are like, no, wood only. Like, don't give me anything else. And that's just because like there hasn't been something as good. But we're working on it, and once we get there, you won't ever want to go back because your board is like flex-wise will stay the same for the entire life of the board. It won't break down.
I like when they noodle out.
They get soft.
I like it when the board gets a little softer, dude. I don't mind it. That's the thing. It's like I don't mind when it gets a little.
Yeah. Well, and I think that then like so say like you start with the stiff board, right? Yeah. And you're like, it's a little stiff. I know I need 15 days on it.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's like day one out of the wrapper, boom, that thing's ready to rumble, and it's the same same soft flex the whole time. But also like this little like the little like 3D groove right here. So that's like where I think snowboarding is really going to start going, is adding more 3-dimensional into the top of the board. Like we do it a little bit in K2 with like the Antidote and
Like the
Alchemist.
Super DOA too.
Yeah,
does
like
it, has the
does
indent
it,
and stuff.
Nidecker does it. But that's really where I see the future of technology going, because you can change the whole flex profile by how that 3D is working into it. So like that little
exactly
thumb
what that
groove
does.
also adds structure to this stick to make it stiffer. And that's the
Well, speaking of hockey sticks, Kyle C. Skyberg wants to know who wins a hockey shootout, Chris or Seth? Seth, you can go ahead and take this one.
I think Chris does, but it's definitely from when I feed him, just a pizza, just a nice saucy pizza right in front of the net. He just claps it bar down.
Just a nice, slow one-timer, bar down. Holy smokes. Fortunately, that's not a shootout, though, so we got to go to actual shootout scenario. I think Seth's got me covered. He's been playing like 5 times a week. He's actually surgical right now. He's got me covered.
Who's goalie?
That's a big
little fun fact. Jess Perlmutter's parents told me she's a hockey goalie.
Wow.
So we could put her in net, and I think Seth would still have
I'd love
me
to
covered.
see this.
We got to fly
We
her
should
out
make
for
this happen, actually. That would be sick.
Yeah,
hockey goalie.
Also, isn't Bo Bishop a goalie up in Canada? I think.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, I think he's a goalie. He probably has us both covered.
You know,
yeah.
Goalies, that's a skill. That's an art. You know, they're hard to come by. Good ones.
Oh yeah.
We got another good product question. This is from Chris Beresford. Why are extruded bases still made? Joey, would you like to cover this one?
Yeah, I think just all those little dimples and stuff, they just make you just go super fast and stuff.
Okay. Jason?
That was amazing. Manufacturing wise, it's way cheaper to make an extruded base. And then also like not like giving a beginner extruded base, they don't have to wax it. It's going to be the same consistent speed every time they go out. And if they ride into the parking lot over a bunch of gravel and they get a bunch of core shots, the extruded bases are way easier to PTEX and fix. So
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, for street kids.
Yeah. It's actually like,
Is your board extruded or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No.
Is it, I actually think I, on my show I was calling it a protruded base.
I do remember that. I've got a bit of a protruded situation on the bottom of my base right now.
I think it's protruded, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It's
so funny.
Green jacket, gold jacket.
Yeah, it's definitely a green jacket, gold jacket. We got a few more product questions to keep these product people at bay. STSCHNZ. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. He says, do we see a downturn in volume shifted boards going back to longer regular width boards? You kind of talked about it, but you can tee up.
Maybe a little bit. I think everybody jumped on the bandwagon of the volume shift. If you aren't familiar with that term, it's a shorter and wider board. So you get the same, comes from surfing, you get the same surface area in a shorter, wider board as you do a longer board. So that's the whole thing. And people went crazy for it for a few years. Like everybody made 10 different volume shift boards. And then people are sort of coming back to like a middle ground where like a traditional width board is wider than it used to be. Because I think people found that happy medium of it's like, oh, it's like still maneuverable, but it's really fun to turn. So I do see it trending back a little bit more normal, but the new normal is wider than the old normal.
Okay, this is a question I'm curious about too. This is from Sacco14. What exactly is a directional twin? Isn't that an oxymoron? LOL.
That's good.
It's a good question.
Yeah, no, it's great. And this gets there's not like one exact answer. So I'll go through I'll be quick, but the couple main directional twins. So a directional twin can be, so no matter what, the board can't have taper. So the nose width and the tail width has to be the same. So that's like baseline for a directional twin.
That's a defining as a twin.
That's the twin part. Like
nose and tail shape.
Nose and tail width.
Got it.
So no taper at all.
Okay.
So within that, so you could take and this is where it gets like, depending on what company you are or whatever, you can go a few different directions. But so nose and tail width have to be the same. The nose and tail length can be the same, and you can just set the inserts back. Or you could set the inserts back and have a directional flex, or you could have a twin flex, or you could have a slightly longer nose than tail and it be set back, or you could have a slightly longer nose and tail and have it be centered. So there's a bunch of different ways to go about it.
Makes sense.
Dude, we're getting to the bottom of some heavy, hard topics.
So it's honestly pretty.
What about, so the twin, the shape's got to be, the nose and tail left to be mirrored.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes it a twin. That's what I thought made it a twin.
So it's really side cut has to be twin, and tip and tail width have to be twin. So like if you were full on centered on your side cut, it is a twin snowboard. But within that, you can do like a slightly directional flex, because like you think like, oh, I'm landing back seat.
Got it.
I want a little stiffer tail. And then if you have a little longer nose and tail,
elongated nose.
Yeah.
Wildly informative.
Yeah, because it's always like in my head, it's like if I'm setting my board up as a twin, I'm centered on the board.
Yeah.
I'm centered on, or at least like, like I'm centered on the side cut, same amount of nose and tail. And it's just like, that's a true twin to me.
Yeah.
And, it's weird when I start like, if it's a true twin shape and I like bump it back a bit for POW, then I feel like my turning's off because I'm off the side cut.
Yeah, for sure. Do you set yours up centered?
Yeah. Centered.
And do you for streets stuff as
Street
well?
stuff. Sometimes I bump it back binding a little bit, maybe, or front binding.
You're on the navigator, right? Or that board's directional.
Yeah, that one's
right.
my street board. I think I actually still set it back just a hair.
Yeah, and that may be surprising to a lot of people that like some of the best jibbers all set their boards back. Yeah. It's kind of crazy,
Scott's
know.
set like a full inch.
Yeah, and like I know Kuzik sets his back. Ben Bilodeau. Like there's a lot of people, and I always ask them why they like it, and they say it's more of like it gives them a little bit of a skateboard feel. Like it's like stiffens up your tail a little, and it kind of gives you that directional feel like a skateboard on the snow. I don't know. I thought that was always kind of interesting. And then there's some people who are like, I could never set a board back, and they're nasty. Like I don't know what Jed does, but
0-0 bindings.
Yeah, just closed shouldered.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Well, let's talk about 4D experimental. A lot of people want to know, you got a POW surf company. How's it been going? What you been doing?
Yeah, it's been a crazy busy winter. Just between my normal job and then building these here in Salt Lake at night, it's been pretty hectic. But yeah, they been pretty insane. Been riding them a bunch lately. Just made a bunch. And the whole thing is I just wanted to make high performance POW surfers. Like you can, we took them to Powder Mountain last week and literally rode a POW day the entire day only on a POW surfer. It's pretty nuts. So yeah, it's been, for sure the craziest thing I've ever designed, like more hours on this project than anything else. And yeah,
how are you pressing these things?
So I got linked up with these. Have you heard of the company Drift? They make like the approach skis. So they're made in downtown Salt Lake. And I met those guys a couple years ago at a demo, and they were like, one of them's an engineer, Dave, and he was like, oh, you should come check out our shop sometime. You'd just be stoked on it. And I went down there, and he was like, you can just press your POW surfers here if you want, like make a mold and stick it in our press. And they have like a seriously insane, like full hydraulic press, like all the CNC machines, everything. And they've been insane and just letting me do all of that work there for free. And like, yeah, I can't thank them enough for being able to make them all here. That was always like my hope, is like I wanted to make every single one myself in Salt Lake. And then like if people want a board, they can you could come make your own POW surfer, really sick.
Are these babies for sale?
They will be for sale here in about 2 weeks. So I guess by the time this show airs.
You got a website going? What's going on?
Yeah, got a website, so that'll be up by then, and or you can just hit the Instagram. But yeah, I'm trying to make as many as I can right now.
Use promo code AugurdPolaris for 4% off.
That is awesome.
So is it kind of like a surfboard type like process? Like it's like you're the shaper, you hand make the board, you kind of hand it to the customer. You got your little,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, because it's way lower quantities than a snowboard brand. Like I have the ability to do that, and that's like this project fuels designing snowboards for me. Right. Like this is like a graphic designer, like them being able to go and like doodle or draw or whatever. Yeah. So like this keeps me super hyped on what I do on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, it's just like a whole nother creative outlet. But
is every shape different, or do you keep it do you have like a standard template?
So I'll have like
Or
6 different
templates,
shapes, and the plan is like have like a few of the homies who are like, you know, team riders. Everybody gets their own shape.
Who's on the team?
So to start, you know, we're still working out contracts and stuff out here, but yeah,
Hold a little red tape in the legal department.
yeah, you know, it's more I got to get my act together and make them boards. But
Question: How are these babies on hardpack?
dude, they're insane.
Actually?
Yeah,
No way.
Like you can fully.
You got edges?
No edges. You can grab it and try not to knock anything over.
Good luck with that.
But you can see here for the people that are listening. So they've got these like surfboard style channels on the bottom. So very like, you know, the inspiration obviously came from Asmo. You know, it's kind of like one of those, like once they invented a high back on a snowboard binding, no one was like, nah, we should get rid of these, right? Like that's your new starting point. And that's where like I rode Asmos, and Volley was a big inspiration for me. And I was like, okay, like his channel design is like my jumping off point. Like, why would I start from like a lower? I mean, I made flat boards forever, but so like very Asmo inspired, but then with like these inner channels, which I've been working on for like 5 years now. Like this is what allows you to ride hardpack. Like you can fully edge, like cruise on a groomer, like
Wow.
so.
Back 7, park jump.
Yeah. You're going like saran wrap, whatever you want to do.
Damn.
But it's pretty insane. Like we did a full pow mount day. Like you're cruising on the groomers, and it's not something like if it's super icy. It's like no matter what.
I heard there was somebody else on a different brand pow surf who will not be named, not having as good of a day as you guys.
Let's just say that person maybe only lasted 2 runs on their board, and Wiz, myself, and Sean Black did a full day on the pow surf.
Damn.
Yeah. So they're working.
Coming
And
in hot.
that's where like I want people
sick.
like pow surfing right now. You need a sled, or you have to go hike. So if you can ride your first few runs of the day on a pow surfer and survive on the cat tracks, like that's my goal, and that's where I see people getting more and more into it. Like it's still super fun on a little backyard hill, but now you can go like fully ride some sick little chutes at your local resort or whatever. So
Well, I think the thing that makes it really fun is like the really low angle wiggles that don't really get our rocks off when you're strapped in.
Oh, yeah.
For me, the pow surf, you're having a blast.
yeah, that's exactly it. Like this whole, like I think a lot of people have been thinking we've had an insane winter in Utah this year, and it's been pretty terrible, like crazy Avi danger all year. And I mean, I haven't snowboarded a ton, but we've been pow surfing like crazy because you go just find like the sick little 30-degree slope and just rip it all day long, and you have the best day ever, you know, or like build a little jump and try and pop shove it and just absolute shit. And it's as fun as snowboarding for sure.
God damn.
Are you molding the track pad there? Like that seems like a really cool thing that can be innovative.
Yeah. That's probably honestly what I'm most proud of with these new boards is the grip pad. And this was one of the hardest things to design. So the whole outer surface of it is the rubber. It's all one piece. I wanted, because like if you look at a lot of pow surfs out there, they're like multiple pieces of foam slapped together. They don't look super legit, and they peel apart and stuff. So I wanted this thing to be really, really durable. The rubber's really sick because it's super grippy, like no matter what, and snow can't stick to it.
Sick.
So like
That's
it'll be
huge.
fully covered in snow. You just slap the bottom of the board and all the snow falls off. And then it's foam inside, so it still has that squish and it's really lightweight. So this is probably what I'm most hyped on is the grip pad. Like you're locked in.
And I guess back to the old hockey stick.
Yeah.
What are these things made out of? Is it wood core?
No, so no wood core in there at all. It's basalt glass. So instead of fiberglass or carbon fiber, it's a type of fiberglass that's made from volcanic rock.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty sick. So it's more sustainable, but it's like halfway in between of carbon and fiberglass. And then that green material, that's the core of the board. It's a UHMW, like a whatever, just a type of like super high quality plastic, and then sintered base, and then this pretty sick top sheet. And then I'll make wood top sheet ones as well.
You wax these?
Yeah, for sure. I like the paste wax.
You got to get, because you got to get, they're so contoured.
Yeah.
You're not really getting a scrape on that.
No. Yeah, so the paste wax is nice. You just like rub it on and rip. But yeah, that's 4D.
All right. Wait, great for great synopsis of everything. I think that's product talk. I think we did it. So Joey, it seems like it's been a pretty busy winter. Good winter so far for you this year, huh?
Yeah,
Major.
really good.
Major,
Yeah.
a lot of contests.
Yeah, a lot of content. I
What'd
guess
you
just
do?
Red Bull.
Okay.
It's just both Red Bull
And then
contests.
filming
and then-
apart.
Yeah, trying to film a part in between. And yeah, hopefully focus on my first full part. So trying to work as hard as I can with that and hopefully get on a couple more trips before the end of the year. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
32 vid.
Yep.
And you got a
32
Capita
movie.
trip coming up?
Capita trip. Yep. I'm going to go maybe make some stuff with Lars and Rav, which sounds like an amazing time, dude.
Cool. Where are you guys going?
I think Tahoe.
Nice.
Somewhere around Tahoe. Yeah.
Fun.
But yeah, I haven't seen Lars in a long time. And every time I get with him or the stuff he makes is awesome. So
And the Lars Rav combo is
It's
just a
just-
match made in
yeah,
heaven.
exactly.
Huge shout out to Lars.
Yeah. So being with
He
those
is
two
the
dudes
best.
will probably be really fun.
Incredible. And then what do you got going on this summer?
Utah Valley Curb, baby.
Woo!
Yeah, that
Laying
starts
down
up.
some curb. I wish I had the ad read. Like,
Yeah.
Damn it. Don't have it in front of me. You slated that thing.
Yeah, but yeah, that starts up hopefully probably end of April or May. That's full time right to it. So yeah, busy.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
What about you guys for the rest of the winter?
Jen?
Holding it down. Yep. Just trying to snowboard out the season and just have fun.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more snow around here. Winter just got going last week, so we're hoping to ride a little pow. Maybe go neck a little.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Bomb Hole Cup.
Oh, yeah. Bomb Hole Cup, April 5th and 6th. If you haven't signed up, it'll probably be, the bank's all probably full by the time this comes out. Or if it's not, go check it because it fills up quick. Park Showdown, we're doing a Legends division again. So, Seth, I hope to see you competing in that. Did you get a trophy last time?
Yeah, I won the part.
You won.
I remember that.
Bjorn won overall, but
I can't wait to turn 40.
Got
I'm
one in the
gonna fuck you guys up.
yeah, but I'll be in the 50 and over then.
Yeah, I'm excited. This year I'm riding Bomb Hole Cup. Last year, Richards bailed. I ended up having to announce, but this year, riding.
You're in.
Yeah, are you going to be jibbing? You going to be around?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm here. I'm locked
What are you
in
racing,
for it.
industry?
I don't know. I was going to do the vintage board for sure, and then probably just my age group. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. I had the boys covered in industry, but they had a strong run two.
Yeah.
I think it was Bone and...
I think Double A sandbagged a little. He's debatable on the industry.
Yeah?
You know?
You think so?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I have some code in my email and it's free. So if you want that, just hit me up.
Oh, did you get the pro? You got the pro email?
Yeah, I'll send you my Venmo.
Good to know Jules is sending those out. I love that.
She's
Good
on
job.
it.
Good job. Bomb Hole Cup's coming up. Also, we got Bomb Hole USASA contest, which by the time this comes out should be close to when this is coming out. But basically, all of our Bomb Hole employees are competing in a USASA contest. I can't be there. I have to be at Snow League. I'm announcing Snow League. So, yeah, that's going to be a good time. Basically, Jules, Danny, Silk, and Holden are all competing. They're going to be in the bibs. They had to do a background check. They had to do all this paperwork, like hundreds of dollars. I didn't realize how complex it was to sign up for USASA.
Safe sport.
Seth will be editing and filming this and producing it. We're going to send all the footage to Todd Richards. He will narrate their runs. It's going to be edited as if you're watching X Games, except for the runs are going to be with our employees, and there's going to be storylines. They're going to be, talking about,
What
Silk-
motivates them?
Sounds awesome.
Silk's
is
basically
insane.
just doing it because his boss is forcing him. That's one storyline.
Yeah, that is. This is my nightmare.
That is awesome.
So that should be good.
Is Raymer judging?
Raymer's a judge. Raymer's family runs USASA, and it's important because I grew up doing USASA. That was super important to me. So it's good to enter the bunch of 12-year-olds, and then the Bomb Hole crew will be there. It'll be a good time.
It's incredible.
All right, boys. I think it's been a good show. Favorite moment of the show? What was yours?
Talk about board specs and all that.
Yeah. Tech Talk with Joey.
Wood core. Chase Stone?
I don't know. I think the Jen shed some nice light on the industry gossip, and that was really sick, and gave us a little rundown memory lane of his Volcom years, which was really sick.
Thanks.
Seth?
I appreciate the Scott Stevens call. That was amazing. You know, locking eyes with Joey as he cracked that Dales. We just started dying. Jay Stone just like crushing it on the product tech. I cannot get enough of that stuff. I don't know.
We got to go Red Brighton.
Let's do it.
Talk about boards.
Let's talk about boards,
count me in.
boots, bindings.
Let's ride.
I love it. I love it all. Chris, great show.
Thank you. I got to say the Goodr call-in was my favorite as well. But yeah, who's going to take us out of the show? I think Joey. I think it's you know how to do this. You've done this before.
You're kind of a seasoned vet.
What is it?
You got to thank the sponsors.
Yeah, thank sponsors. Thank you
Patreons.
everyone for getting me here. Thank you Patreon. And up now is the almost yet.